The message here is this: you are gradually stepping out of that space, leaving behind the land of fear and pressure, and moving into a new phase where life feels more breathable, more comfortable, more enjoyable. Whether this applies to love, personal dreams, career, or your social connections, everything is beginning to open up in a way that feels gentler and more accessible to you. So, take heart. Everything is unfolding in the right direction. I hope this reading can serve as a small spark of clarity, a warm point of reference to help you feel more grounded and confident on your own path. I'll close the reading for those of you who chose pile 3 here. If what I've shared brought you any helpful insight, or even if you simply found it enjoyable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like to support me. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end of this video. Wishing you a peaceful and lucky day. See you again in the next readings. Hello to those of you who chose pile 1. Thank you for waiting. Now, I'll begin the reading for those who were drawn to the first pile. I hope this reading brings you healing, fresh insights, and moments filled with love. Today's theme is truly intense. Rapid changes are on the way, along with a piece of shocking, fated news. Just hearing that feels powerful already, doesn't it? So, let's dive into the reading. For those of you who chose this pile, it seems you're carrying a sense of regret about something from the past. There may be something you once thought, if only I had done that, or I wish I had spoken more clearly, or if only I had expressed my feelings at the right time. It feels like there was something you weren't able to say when you needed to, or you couldn't act in the way your heart truly desired. There's a very strong sense that you've thought, I wish I had said it. I'm picking up a rather intense energy from this reading. Perhaps you had a serious falling out with someone, or there's a memory from the past that still hurts every time it surfaces. It's also possible that you once had something going well, and then everything suddenly shifted, leaving you unsure of how to move forward. The card representing the overall current energy is the 3 of Swords, a card that speaks of pain and heartbreak. At the same time, in the position representing external influences, the Knight of Cups appears in reverse, which especially catches my attention. Taking in the whole picture, it becomes quite clear that both you, and possibly someone connected to what you're thinking of while watching this reading, are currently in a very uneasy or emotionally difficult state. The 3 of Swords often represents emotional pain, conflict, sorrow, or a lingering sense of defeat within the heart. It's not necessarily that you've been defeated by someone or by circumstances, but rather, there's a deep inner feeling, either within you or someone connected to you, that something has gone wrong, that something is broken. Perhaps you did something you now feel was a mistake, or you simply blame yourself for not being able to change the outcome. The reverse Knight of Cups indicates emotions that want to be expressed, but somehow remain unsaid. It could be that you, or the other person, were unable to fully convey what was in the heart. There might have been an urge to say something heartfelt, like an apology, a declaration of love, or an explanation, yet it never happened. Perhaps these emotions never took the form of tangible action, never materialized clearly. The card drawn to represent the shocking news to come, the fated revelation, feels more like a gentle whisper from the universe about your present state. It gives me the impression that before this destined turning point arrives, there is something unresolved in your past, something unhealed. It's as if there's an unfinished story, a lingering thread, and that's exactly what forms the foundation for the life-altering news that's about to be revealed. When we speak of the past, it's such a vast concept. Even yesterday is already the past. But looking at the card representing your past, we see the King of Pentacles. This makes me feel that things once felt stable, reliable, and perhaps even prosperous. There may have been a relationship or a plan that was progressing smoothly, with a sense of security and clarity. But then something disrupted it, like a sudden crack in the foundation, and everything that was once flowing effortlessly came to an abrupt halt. This could be the story of a relationship that was once deeply connected, someone from your past you thought you would go further with. It might also be about a project, a job, or a plan that once showed great promise, but was suddenly interrupted. Whatever the case may be, I sense that those who chose this pile have experienced a period that once felt really positive, only for things to enter a phase of stagnation, as if pulled into a standstill, a state of delay, or even a minor crisis. And in this reading, your energy reveals a very clear sense of determination. The reverse 2 of Swords represents that. It's no longer a state of hesitation or indecision. It feels more like you're beginning to lean firmly toward a specific choice. Alongside it appears the reversed Eight of Cups, reinforcing the feeling that you are not choosing to walk away. Even though the past may have brought disappointment, even though the present may feel less than ideal, you're not letting go. You're not choosing the path of giving up, of letting it go for good. On the contrary, it feels like you're trying to hold on, trying to salvage something, or finding a way to bring something back to where it once belonged. And even if you're not fully aware of it yet, I sense that deep within you, there is a quiet belief, I'm not going to give up on this. Of course, if what I'm sharing doesn't quite resonate with how you feel, then please feel free to set it aside. Because above all else, your own emotions and choices are what matter most in this journey. No one but you can truly understand what your heart is longing for. You don't need to worry too much. Truly, it's okay. I'm simply sharing what I intuitively sense from the energy of this reading at the moment. It's possible that within you there was, or still is, a thought like, maybe I should give up, or maybe it would be easier if I stopped trying. You may have told yourself, perhaps I should choose the easier path, one that's less painful, less complicated. But at the same time, I can feel very clearly that there's still something inside you that you haven't been able to let go of. It's as if you're standing at a crossroads. On one side is the smoother path, the one with less resistance, where surrender seems easier. On the other side is the more difficult road, but it's the one that holds what you truly want, what you've never stopped yearning for. It might be the wish to repair a broken relationship, the longing to continue walking with someone you haven't been able to forget, or a dream you've carried in your heart for a long time and haven't given up on. This reading makes me feel that many of you are choosing to keep moving toward what you truly desire, even if it means facing countless challenges. The energy here doesn't speak of giving up, it speaks of refusal to surrender, of a quiet determination to make it real. That said, I want to be very mindful in expressing this, because if any of you are watching and feel that this doesn't align with your current experience, that's completely fine. I'm not suggesting or implying that you must follow any particular path. The most important thing is how you genuinely feel, and if this doesn't resonate with you, then simply let the reading pass gently. What I'm doing here is simply reflecting a stream of emotion that might still quietly exist within you, even if only faintly. And perhaps, at some point, you've asked yourself, is there a way for my dream to come true without having to let go? Maybe, quietly within, you've been searching for a new direction, an alternative path where you don't have to give up, and yet, what you long for can still become real. If any part of what I've shared so far makes you feel, yes, there's a bit of that inside me, then please receive it gently. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's perfectly okay too. As long as you remain true to yourself and continue to honor your own emotions, everything will eventually become clear in its own time. Now, I feel called to draw one more card to further clarify your reverse Two of Swords. The card that appeared is the King of Swords, and it also suggests that you're still carrying some hesitation. You haven't fully made a clean, decisive choice just yet. From what I can feel, the reason behind your uncertainty is that you're asking yourself, should I keep moving forward in a direction I just can't seem to let go of? It seems you're not afraid of judgment, nor are you overly concerned about what others may think. What truly worries you is this: if I choose this path, will everything I've worked so hard to build come crashing down? You're afraid that all the effort, persistence, and time you've invested might be in vain if your current choice turns out to be the wrong move. I can sense very clearly that deep down you already know what it is you truly desire. In your heart, that wish has taken shape, it has a clear form. But when placed within the framework of reality, where obligations, responsibilities, time, and achievements have accumulated over the years, you find yourself wondering, am I risking everything I've worked so hard for? Am I about to tear down what I've built with my own hands? The fear doesn't stem from a lack of self-belief, it comes from a very human place. The fear of regret if everything you've poured your effort into ends up washed away by a single decision. You don't want the precious things you've nurtured with so much care to become meaningless. You want to protect them. And that's why you hesitate. The conflict within you right now is not light. It's a deep tug-of-war between reason and emotion, between belief and reality, between the longing to live authentically and the fear of losing everything. Yet, even within that fear, I can feel that you are gradually moving toward what you truly long for. You're just trying to make sure that in reaching for it, you don't destroy everything else in the process. Your fear is not selfish or stubborn. It is a form of instinct, a protective drive to safeguard the values and foundations you've built your life upon. And that, more than anything, is what makes your process of choosing so courageous. Even though your heart is filled with hesitation and fear, this reading reveals something very clear. Deep down, you already know what you truly want. The choice is already within you, held gently in your heart, but there's still a gap between recognizing that truth and taking real action. The issue isn't that you don't know what you want. It's that when you think about actually stepping onto that path, leaving other things behind, or even if not leaving completely, simply feeling like you might have to let go, that's when you hesitate. You ask yourself, if I move toward what I want, does it mean I'll lose what I once had? Even if the reality doesn't require you to give up everything, in your mind, it still feels like a sacrifice. And that's what holds you back, keeps you in pause. It's a subtle kind of doubt, the kind that slips in quietly when your heart has already leaned toward one direction, but your reason and your fears still pull you back from taking that step forward. That's why I decided to draw another card to clarify the energy surrounding you, whether it's someone specific you're thinking of, or simply the environment and circumstances you're currently facing. Whether you're watching this reading with love in mind, a career decision, or a life goal, the energy surrounding you plays a crucial role. The card that was drawn is the Moon. This reveals that you're not the only one feeling conflicted. The other person, or those involved, are also overwhelmed by emotion. There are things they've left unsaid, things they wish they could go back and do differently. The regret isn't yours alone on the other side. There's also self-blame. If only I had said that. If only I had done things another way. The Moon always symbolizes hidden emotions, uncertainty, and things that have yet to come to light. Right now, there may be a distance between you and this person, or between you and the circumstances you're facing, a distance not just in actions, but also in understanding. Each person holds a piece of regret, but no one has yet found the courage to break through that veil of fog. To gain more clarity on what this regret might be, I drew another card. And the card that appeared is the Queen of Pentacles. Have you been hurt by someone around you, or perhaps by the very person you're thinking of right now? Because the Three of Swords also showed up earlier, and when I look at the image of Waddle Dee holding a spear, I get the sense that you were the one who got stabbed, in one way or another. The feeling is very strong. The person who caused you pain may have once been someone you deeply trusted, someone you thought was on your side. If someone, or even a group of people, truly caused you pain in the past, then this reading is saying that those individuals are now carrying deep regret. It seems they acted wrongly, said or did something that hurt you deeply, and to this day, they're still burdened by guilt. Perhaps at the time, they acted carelessly, or they were only trying to protect themselves, but looking back now, even they can't fully forgive what they did. Even so, what's important to remember is this: you are not obligated to forgive if you don't want to. Just because someone feels remorse doesn't mean you have to open your heart again. Your heart deserves protection. And whether or not you choose to forgive, that is entirely your right. No one can force that decision upon you. No matter what they say, no matter how remorseful they may be, the power remains with you. You have every right to keep moving forward without looking back, if that's what brings you peace. Because healing does not require accepting back the one who hurt you. Healing simply means choosing yourself, putting your own well-being first, and walking forward in the way you truly deserve. So, if you feel ready to forgive, then forgive. But if you don't want to, then there is absolutely no need to. Everything will still be okay even if forgiveness isn't part of your path. No matter how sorry they are, no matter how much they change, how kind or considerate they become, none of that means you are obligated to open your heart again. Even if they're trying to make amends, even if they're doing everything they can to show their remorse, whether or not you choose to accept their apology and forgive them is entirely up to you. No one has the right to pressure you into opening your heart just because they've finally done the right thing. You don't have to feel guilty or torn. You don't need to think, well, they seem truly sorry, so maybe I should forgive them. No, you don't need to. All that matters is that you're honest with your heart. If you want to forgive, then do so. If you don't, then you don't have to. I want to emphasize this, because you have every right to say no if that brings you peace. I know this may sound definitive, but honestly, this reading shows quite clearly that the other side, whether it's an ex-lover, an old friend, someone from your past, is carrying a deep sense of regret. They are truly feeling remorseful. If you don't feel this message applies to you, that's okay, but the cards here strongly suggest that this person, or these people, are feeling genuinely terrible about the things they once said or did to you. It may even be that they still think about it often, maybe every night as they lie in bed, haunted by guilt. They don't understand why they ever said those things, why they acted that way toward you. Perhaps they've changed a lot since then, but those memories still linger, still weigh heavily on their conscience. And no matter how late it may come, the kind of late that makes you think, well, it's far too late now, the apology in their heart is still genuine. But once again, you are under no obligation to accept it. That choice is yours and yours alone. To be honest, if someone has treated you badly, I have no hesitation in speaking about them in strong, even harsh terms because what they did was real, and they must take responsibility for it. That said, this reading also shows that the person in question is truly remorseful, and what I want to emphasize here is, look at the full picture honestly. There's no need to sugarcoat it, but also no need to suppress your emotions. The card that just appeared is the Six of Cups, and the moment I saw it, I had a powerful feeling. It seems there's still something from the past that you haven't fully let go of. Or perhaps you're still carrying it in your heart, even as you try to move forward. This card often represents old memories, things that have passed, but haven't yet left your soul. And in the context of everything we've been exploring, it's very possible that the shocking news this reading speaks of is, in fact, an apology from that person. You might think, it's just an apology, how could that be shocking? But no, I don't sense that this is a casual, surface-level apology. What I feel is a deeply serious, heartfelt act of remorse. It could come from someone who once hurt you profoundly, even as far back as your childhood, or during a period of your life when you never imagined they would return to offer a sincere apology. And when they reappear, what shocks you may not just be the surprise of seeing them again, but the sheer sincerity in the way they express themselves. They're not simply saying sorry for having hurt you in the past. It's a kind of apology that carries the full weight of their soul, a deeply heartfelt remorse that you can feel through and through. This feels like something big, not shallow, not performative. The major arcana card, the Moon, had appeared earlier, a symbol of hidden emotions, unspoken truths. And now it feels as if that fog is being lifted, allowing what's real, the truth, the feelings to come fully into the light. As soon as I sense this, I turn to the Angel Answers deck to confirm. Is this the shocking news this reading is pointing to? And surprisingly, the answer was a firm no. I found that really fascinating. Just when I thought I had understood the whole message, the universe responded, no, there's something else. Which means there may be a deeper layer still, another piece of the story we haven't yet uncovered. So then, what could it be? Just as I was thinking, maybe it's that long-awaited apology, the deck, almost abruptly and without room for argument, responded. It's not that. Clearly, it's not just about the apology. That response came so quickly, it caught me off guard. It left me momentarily stunned. So then, what exactly is the true shocking news that's about to come? Even if it isn't the apology, that doesn't mean someone won't return and say they're sorry. Rather, it seems that what's about to unfold goes beyond that, something with a far more powerful impact. Because this reading centers around a major shift and a truly shocking revelation, a simple apology may not be enough to match the intensity suggested by the cards. And then, a card featuring a small dog appeared, and it brought with it a completely different feeling. The atmosphere was no longer heavy with remorse, but instead filled with warmth, sincerity, and purity. When that card appeared, I felt that what's coming your way may not be a heavy, emotional apology, but something deeply human, filled with love, a concrete gesture, a healing presence. Perhaps it's the return of the person who once hurt you, but not to say I'm sorry. Rather, to stay, to care, to make amends not through words, but through actions by showing you that you are lovable, that you are safe, that you are worthy of being trusted again. What I feel approaching is not just a statement, but the arrival of an entirely new energy, warm, gentle, and full of affection, something capable of soothing the pain that's long resided in your heart. Then I continued drawing cards, this time from the tarot, and the next card that appeared was the Devil in reverse. And that truly is significant. When the Devil appears reversed, it often brings a message of release. Release from obsessions, emotional bondage, from pain, dependence, and the invisible chains that have held you captive for far too long. Combined with the Six of Cups, a symbol of painful memories looping in the mind, the reverse Devil card is your liberation. You may have been stuck in the past, in old wounds, in nostalgia you thought you'd never escape. But what's coming is your release. No more pain, no more torment. No more tears over what never came to be. What awaits is true peace, as if the light at the end of the tunnel has finally appeared. And I believe this, not an apology, is the truly shocking news the universe wants to deliver to you. That you will no longer be bound by the past. You will be free. And a warm, healing energy is coming your way. It doesn't need to say anything. It just needs to stay and allow you to feel loved once more. And because this comes through a major arcana card, it's significant. Major arcana cards never appear randomly or insignificantly. They always point to a turning point, a pivotal moment on the journey of life. This means that what's about to happen isn't minor. It's a transformation with the power to shift everything. It is also the message that you can, and you will break free from the sorrow shown by the Three of Swords and release the weight of regret that's been holding you down. At first, I thought this was all about an apology. But now I see, perhaps it's something greater, reconciliation. The difference between an apology and reconciliation is that an apology is one-sided. One person speaks, the other listens. But reconciliation is a two-way process where you don't just hear words, you feel understood, acknowledged, and unburdened. Only when your emotions are truly heard and honored can your heart begin to open. That reconciliation, that is what the universe is pointing toward. It may come in the form of a meaningful conversation, a reunion, a moment where the other person not only apologizes, but allows you to feel seen, truly understood. And in that moment, you won't receive it reluctantly, but with a softened heart, because you'll finally understand why everything happened the way it did. And you'll be able to let go not in bitterness, but with peace in your soul. The reverse devil card comes as a powerful reminder. You are being set free. Not just from that person, but from the torment within your own heart. From the obsession, the anger, the guilt, the sadness that has followed you from the past. If you're watching this reading to better understand yourself, this could also point to a release from stagnation, depression, or internal crisis. A healing that begins from within, made possible because you've chosen to finally face the things you once avoided. And then, when I pulled another card from the Angel Answers deck, the message that appeared was take action. This confirms it. You are no longer in a passive role. This isn't something you're just waiting on, waiting for someone else to come and make things right. You are stepping out of the darkness by your own choice, whether that's the choice to let go, the choice to reconcile, or the choice to move forward without needing anyone to return. That's why the truly shocking news the universe is speaking of here isn't just an external event. It's a profound internal transformation. A matter that was left unresolved in the past now finally finds closure. Not through one-sided words, but through empathy, understanding, and the energy of a peaceful ending. This is no longer just about an apology. This is about intentional closure that brings relief. A moment where you can walk away and say, I'm truly okay now. This is a sudden, fated situation meant just for you, so unexpected that it could involve someone you never imagined would reappear, someone who suddenly shows up, apologizes, and genuinely seeks reconciliation and healing. Or it could be tied to something that happened long ago, a memory that once left a deep emotional scar, something you had tried to bury, convincing yourself that maybe it was best to forget. And then, just when you least expect it, that very person returns to offer a sincere apology. Through that, the two of you are finally able to reconcile and resolve what's long been left unresolved. The magnitude of this is truly immense, the kind of event that could turn your entire world upside down. With the appearance of the devil, along with other major arcana cards and the message take action, it seems this won't be a one-sided act. It's not only that person taking initiative, they will likely be the one to make the first move, but it's through witnessing their action that you may find yourself thinking, maybe I can forgive them. Or perhaps, maybe I'm finally ready to forgive. In other words, the action you take here is the choice to forgive, but it's not forced. This is not about hollow, cliché messages telling you to just forgive. Instead, it's reconciliation that arrives naturally, in a flow that feels genuine, a moment where you truly feel consoled, where you feel that your emotions are being honored. And because of that, you may finally be able to open your heart and receive it wholeheartedly. This message is truly significant. It has appeared 2 or 3 times now. You don't have to forgive if you don't want to. That's why I believe the apology here is not just a one-sided act from the other person. It's part of a two-way flow, where you are also healed, seen, and acknowledged. You may finally emerge from a long period of exhaustion, emotional stagnation, or deep-seated pain, and that will be the shocking news for you, in every sense of the word. Now, let's look more closely at how this unfolding of events might take place. I just saw the moon card pass by, and when it revealed itself, I knew, that's it. There's no need to draw more. The story is complete. It appears that what was once clouded by fog, a situation full of ambiguity and confusion, is now beginning to shift, marked by the appearance of the moon. Beyond its symbolism of intuition and emotional sensing, this card also speaks of emotional resonance, a deep, intuitive connection between people, and is often associated with romantic or heartfelt bonds. In other words, it emphasizes the emotional alignment and unspoken understanding between two souls. Looking at the full flow of this reading, it's clear that a situation which remained unresolved for a long time is now beginning to move again, heading toward reconciliation, release, or healing. That message has been repeated yet again. So, the sequence of events appears to be this. In the beginning, everything feels unclear, as though wrapped in dense fog, uncertain and impossible to see through. It may seem like nothing is shifting, but gradually, the mist begins to lift. Clarity starts to emerge, and things begin to move toward resolution, harmony, or a release from emotional entrapment. Additionally, this message can also apply if you're currently feeling drained, exhausted, or caught in a slump, a period marked by physical or emotional decline. The upcoming event, which appears likely to be initiated by the other person, will bring a fresh wave of energy, something that may help you recover, regain motivation, or finally break free from a prolonged phase of stagnation. In that sense, this is a significant piece of news, one that has the potential to completely transform your current state. And because I felt it was necessary, I drew another card to get insight into the possible timing of this shift. It seems the message arrived clearly, approximately 3 months from now. Since it's now the end of May, this would place the event around August, which also happens to align with summer break. That gives me the sense that from now until August, things will gradually begin to change. It's not that you'll have to wait until August for something to happen, but rather, throughout this period, situations will slowly begin to untangle, leading to reconciliation, a sense of forgiveness, or your personal breakthrough out of a stagnant state, allowing you to rediscover your best self. And if you're watching this reading at a time other than May, then simply count 3 months from the present moment. That's the window during which everything will begin to shift, realign, and gradually move toward resolution, healing, and emotional clarity. So you can rest assured that these changes are already on their way, and they will begin to unfold within this 3-month period. For those of you watching this reading at a time that's completely different from when the video was posted, I want to reassure you, this doesn't mean you'll have to wait an entire year. At most, the time frame is around 3 months, and even during those 3 months, it's not as if nothing is happening. In fact, the reading included the image of a boat, a symbol of movement and progress. This means that things will gradually begin to improve, step by step. You may not be able to see it right now, but as time passes, you'll look back and realize, so that's what was happening all along during those 3 months. Little by little, everything was falling into place. Maybe a relationship will begin to mend. Maybe you'll finally break out of a stagnant phase. Maybe your physical or emotional well-being will steadily improve. In short, this isn't a sudden, dramatic transformation that happens overnight. It's a clear, gentle, and steady process of change. So don't think you have to wait until the 3rd month for something to finally shift. On the contrary, even this very month, even right now, the signs have already started to appear. And then, next month you'll find yourself thinking, oh, things are getting better. The month after that, wow, they've improved even more. And so it goes, you'll step into a rhythm of continuous growth and healing until one day, almost without realizing it, you'll find yourself saying, this has turned out beautifully. Even then, when that sense of fulfillment arrives, it won't be the end, because the boat continues its journey, keeps moving forward. That means the relationship or situation you're focused on will continue to develop, heading towards something even deeper, more stable, more lasting. That's why the most important message for those who chose this pile is, honor and pay attention to the flow of events. This is not about a single moment, it's a journey, and you are on a path full of promise. Now, let's take a closer look at why the upcoming event is being called shocking news. If you're watching this and already feel like you know why, yes, this truly feels like a big, life-altering moment, then that's wonderful. Hold on to that feeling as a confirmation. But if you're still unsure, if you don't quite understand why this is considered such an important turning point, allow me to explain a little further. The card drawn is the Seven of Cups, a symbol of dreams, imagination, and the hopes you've once held in your heart. What this card highlights is this: one of those dreams, one you may have once thought was purely fantasy, is actually going to come true. And that's exactly why this is such a shocking piece of news. It's possible that at this very moment, as you watch this reading, you don't feel that it relates directly to the situation you're currently focused on. But in truth, the connection runs much deeper than it seems. For instance, you might be worried about your job, thinking it's an issue confined entirely within your career. Yet what you don't see coming is that someone from your past, someone who once hurt you and who seems unrelated to your present work life, suddenly reappears, expresses genuine remorse, and sincerely apologizes. And in that moment of realization, so I wasn't wrong. I didn't deserve that treatment after all. Your entire perception of yourself begins to shift. You are released from the guilt, from the buried emotional wound you thought you had already moved past. And it's through that inner transformation that your personal energy changes, and suddenly, your work situation starts to improve as well. That's just one example, but it illustrates the point. Sometimes, the things that seem completely unrelated are in fact deeply connected. So even if you're watching this reading with a specific story or concern in mind, understand this: the event being described here, even if it doesn't show up in the way or place you expect, will still be a crucial piece in resolving what you're facing. It will serve as a key, a vital clue that helps you shift, heal, or finally achieve what your heart has long been yearning for. And if, even after hearing all of this, you still don't quite feel the connection or fully understand what this is about, that's perfectly okay. There's no need to force yourself to grasp everything right away. Just remember this: everything happening right now carries meaning. When this event unfolds, it will naturally reveal to you why it mattered so much. And in that moment, you'll realize, so everything really was falling into place all along. The message here emphasizes that this isn't just something random that happens and then fades, not just a one-off event tucked away in a separate folder of your life. No, it's intricately linked. It connects directly to what you're going through. Everything is woven together. And this right here is a piece of the puzzle far more meaningful than you may have realized. So now let's explore the deeper question. Why is this event happening now? It's a question with a spiritual undertone, but it's a deeply important one to consider. Why has the universe chosen this moment to set things in motion? The card drawn is the Queen of Wands in reverse. This suggests that, whether it's someone around you or the very person you're thinking about, there's a common thread. They've lost confidence in themselves. They're no longer holding onto the radiant, strong image they once embodied. And perhaps it's precisely this sense of disorientation, this loss of self-belief, that is prompting them to reevaluate their behavior, their choices, and how they're relating to the people in their lives. It's as if the unraveling of their inner stability has created an opening for realization, for reflection, and for change. And through that, the energy begins to shift, not just for them, but for you too. You might be wondering, wait, so what does that mean? Someone loses their confidence and suddenly comes back to me? Does that even make sense? But in truth, it's precisely when people confront their own vulnerability that they begin to see what truly matters. It's when they stop trying to hide, when the false sense of confidence fades, that they finally have a chance to be honest, with themselves and with others. And if you're watching this reading as a message meant just for you, it's possible that you, too, are in a phase where part of your self-confidence has diminished. Maybe you're feeling like you've lost momentum, that you're in a slump or no longer feel like your old self. But that's exactly where the current begins. It's through recognizing the cracks within that the doorway opens, the doorway that leads you out of this state. The universe has chosen this exact moment, when you or the other person are reaching a personal threshold, to initiate the healing process and the path toward reconnection. So whether this shift begins with you or with someone else, the key point is this: this transformation is happening precisely at a time when either one of you, or both, must face your deepest sense of insecurity. And from that place, something new and more powerful can be born. Whether you're watching this reading to gain clarity about yourself or thinking of someone specific, one thing is certain. When you begin to lose faith in who you are, when you start asking, "Am I really okay like this?" that question itself is a sign. Deep down, you are carrying a desire for change. And that desire is what awakens the need to turn inward, to observe, and to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level. When people fall into a state of confusion or lose trust in themselves, they often begin a process of introspection, and it's through that journey inward that they discover new perspectives, fresh insights, or ways to adjust and improve their lives. If this is the path you're currently walking, then it's precisely through these seemingly negative emotions that you'll begin to uncover valuable clues for transformation. And if the person you're thinking about is the one experiencing a loss of confidence or direction, then that very rupture becomes the catalyst for them to ask, "Have I behaved unfairly? Did I hurt someone without realizing it? Why am I only seeing this now?" These questions awaken a part of them that had long been dormant, a part that perhaps should have been confronted long ago. In other words, whether it's you or someone else, that feeling of lost confidence, the emptiness, is actually the stepping stone toward learning and toward awakening parts of the self that had not yet been clearly seen. That's why all of this is happening now. From an energetic perspective, if you're wondering, why now? The answer leans into the spiritual. This is the moment the universe has aligned for you to learn a lesson your soul is now ready to receive. Because the truth is, we're not always awake enough to look within. We're not always brave enough to change. It's only when the soul is truly ready that life begins to create the right conditions for that opportunity to appear. So, you don't need to worry if you feel lost or directionless, because that feeling is simply a sign you're on the right path. You're being invited into a new cycle, one in which everything will be rebuilt from the inside out. And the universe always knows exactly when the time is right. A new message has emerged. Let go. That's right, the card emphasizes that the reason all of this is unfolding now is because you, the one watching this reading, may have been trying too hard for too long. And I want to make this very clear. This isn't about the idea that trying hard means you can't be happy, or that you must rigidly let go in order to find peace. No one's saying you shouldn't strive. You absolutely can give your best and still be happy, still stay true to yourself. But the truth is, you've been carrying too much for too long, and it's made you tired. The Two of Swords has also appeared, depicting someone sitting, holding two heavy swords in their hands. Staying in that position for too long is truly exhausting, incredibly tense. Just imagine constantly holding two heavy blades upright, tight, unsure when or if you can ever set them down. It's not a comfortable place to be. But the card appears in the reverse position, which means it's time for you to stop pushing so hard. You no longer need to grit your teeth and endure. You no longer have to carry pain or burdens that were never meant to be yours in the first place. The Ten of Swords has also shown up, a card that depicts a figure with swords piercing their back, symbolizing accumulated pain, emotional and physical exhaustion. And so, according to the natural rhythm of energy, this is the phase where you are allowed, truly allowed, to stop trying so hard. You are allowed to soften. You are allowed to set down the weight. You are allowed to live more gently. Not because you failed, but because you've come far enough. You've done enough. And now, it's time for you to enter a phase of healing, a place where good things begin to return. This message may feel a little abstract, somewhat ethereal, the kind of insight that's characteristic of tarot, rather than a hard, practical fact. But if you're tuning into this with the question in your heart, then the meaning is very clear. The reason everything is unfolding the way it is right now is because you've been carrying too much for too long. And now, it's time to loosen your grip, to breathe, to live more lightly. You've entered a transformative phase, one where you no longer need to keep striving to the point of depletion. And it's not just you. Those around you, or the person you've been thinking about, are also entering a time of deep self-reflection. A period of personal reckoning. A chance to look back at how they've lived, how they've treated others, how they've connected, and from there, begin learning how to change. With that backdrop, when I saw the card representing the near future, the Hierophant in reverse, it caught my attention. The Hierophant typically represents belief systems, wisdom, tradition, moral values, and structure. But in its reversed position, it suggests a disruption. Either you're no longer aligned with the belief system you once held, or you're feeling lost within your own guiding principles. Yet what gives me hope is the appearance of the Ace of Cups, a profoundly positive card that symbolizes the beginning of love, healing, and heartfelt emotion. And then my intuition spoke clearly. You, or this person, are currently in a place where you don't fully trust yourself. As if there are two voices within you. One that boldly declares, I can do this. And another, quieter one that asks, but am I really okay? You may be someone with a strong inner light, a big heart, a natural ability to love and to heal, and yet you quietly carry doubts about your own worth. And perhaps that's exactly why the Hierophant appears reversed, because it's time for you to rewrite the internal system of beliefs you've been living by. You no longer need to follow rules others once imposed on you. You don't have to fit into a mold to be valid or right. The Ace of Cups offers a gentle and heartfelt new beginning. It's a message that says, you are worthy of love. And everything from love to career to relationships can begin again from a heart that knows how to feel, how to release, and how to believe. I am enough. It's as if, it's not that you lack faith, but rather, there are moments when you can't fully trust yourself. There have been times when you were confident, when you truly believed you could do it, and then there are those quiet moments of doubt, where you pause and ask yourself, am I really okay? And in that exact moment, the Ace of Cups appeared, accompanied by an incredibly positive card from the Angel Answers deck. Together, these cards deliver a deeply comforting message. There is someone out there offering you a love that is vast, sincere, and heartfelt. This person isn't trying to force you to trust them. They're not trying to push any message onto you. All they want to say is, you are truly a wonderful person. And they want you to see that in the most natural, honest way. You know, there are people in this world who speak kind words just to feel noble, just to indulge in the idea of being a savior. Some say beautiful things because they want to be admired. And I think we've all encountered someone like that at some point, or even found ourselves being perceived that way. As a tarot reader, I'm very aware of that. I know that sitting here, offering words of healing through the cards, might sometimes be seen as a performance, or an attempt to be revered. And I won't deny that, at times, I too have been healed through the process of reading for others, because it's always a two-way exchange. I feel deeply grateful for every person who comes to these readings, because through them, I've been able to live this path fully and meaningfully. But returning to the core message, the person who is directing their feelings toward you is not that kind of person. They're not someone who uses sweet words to paint a flattering picture of themselves. They're not using you to heal their own wounds. They are, truly and sincerely, from the bottom of their heart, simply trying to let you know, you are worthy of love. You don't need to try so hard. You don't need to put on a brave face. You don't need to become someone else. Just by being exactly who you are already enough to be loved. The person speaking these words to you isn't trying to sell you something, like a salesperson complimenting you on how great an outfit looks just to make a sale. No, they genuinely mean it. They truly believe it, and that's why they're saying it. Yes, that's exactly the feeling here. And I want to be clear, I'm not criticizing those who work in sales or use words to promote something. That too is an important and respectable profession. I've worked in the fashion industry myself, so I understand that world very well. But you know what I mean, even in a business setting, there are moments when someone sees something that genuinely suits a customer, and they express that from a place of sincerity, not for the sake of numbers, but because they honestly believe it. That exact feeling is what I'm trying to convey here. This person, when they tell you that you're wonderful, that you're valuable, they're not doing it to win your favor, not for hidden motives. They say it simply because they truly feel it, from the heart. Precisely because there is no hidden agenda behind these words, they touch you more deeply even though they are simple. They're not polished phrases crafted for effect, but pure emotions conveyed in the most natural way. I sense that you are someone with a very high level of awareness and discernment. But that doesn't mean you're negative or that you don't trust others. On the contrary, you're deeply intuitive and emotionally intelligent. So when someone says something kind to you, your first thoughts might be, are they trying to win me over? Are they forcing themselves to say this for my sake? Am I tiring them out by just being me? You may be someone who's highly sensitive, perhaps even someone who can sense and absorb the emotions of others with extraordinary depth and nuance. And because you're so perceptive and mindful of how others feel, you tend to feel guilty or like a burden when someone offers kindness to you. But because of that, Sometimes you unintentionally push away the love and care you truly deserve. And over time, this may have planted a seed deep inside you, the belief that maybe you're not worthy of genuine trust or love. But the truth is the complete opposite. You are worthy of kindness, of love, of sincerity, simply because you are you. That's right, if deep down you truly believe in your own worth and inner magnetism, then when someone compliments you, your natural response might be, well, I do have good qualities, so what they're saying makes sense. But if you've long struggled to believe in your own value, if you carry within you a quiet sense of self-doubt, then when someone offers you kind words or affection, your instinct might be to think, they're just saying that to be polite. Or they're only trying to make me feel better. And this exact inner dialogue is reflected in the cards, the suggestion that perhaps you haven't always been able to fully believe in the goodness that exists within you. But from this moment on, everything is about to shift. You're stepping into a new phase, one where genuine compliments, heartfelt affirmations, and kind recognition will begin to come your way more often. From many different people. And these words won't be flattery. They won't be manipulative. They won't come with hidden motives. They'll come simply because you're entering a new chapter, one where you're finally allowed to soften, to receive love and recognition you once thought you didn't deserve. What's truly beautiful is this. Some of these words will come from people who once seemed indifferent, distant, or even unkind. You may have thought of them as cold, emotionally unavailable, or simply not the type to care about you. But if, in the near future, those very people begin to open up, offering you warm and sincere words, you may find yourself surprised, even asking, wait, what's happening? Why are they suddenly acting like this? And the answer is, because they, too, have grown. They've changed. It's not just you stepping into a phase of lighter living. Those around you are changing as well. They're learning how to express their emotions more honestly, learning how to acknowledge the value of others without shame or hesitation. So when you begin receiving kind words from others, whether from someone you admire or even someone who once hurt you, receive them with an open heart. Because this is not only a reflection of their growth, it's also living proof that you are showing up as a more radiant version of yourself. And you are absolutely worthy of receiving that. What's unfolding now is the result of two energies converging. First, the internal transformation happening in those around you. They've begun to create enough inner space to see and appreciate you with greater clarity and sincerity. And second, you've entered a phase where your past efforts, your quiet endurance, your authenticity are finally being recognized and met with tangible affirmation. These two currents are now coming together, allowing the once hidden layers, like the quiet background of a film script, to be revealed, scene by scene, and offered to you. And because of this, many beautiful things are drawing near: compliments, heartfelt recognition, words of praise filled with sincerity and love. In the past, when you heard kind words, your reaction may have been one of doubt. Really? Are they just saying this to be polite? Did I somehow pressure them to say something nice? But this time, with the energy of the Ace of Cups, you'll feel it clearly in your heart. Yes, they mean it. They truly see me. You'll feel it. Oh, they truly appreciate me. They're not trying to flatter me. They genuinely believe in what they're saying. And you won't need to question whether it's real or not, because your heart will know. You are someone who feels things deeply. You read truth through emotion, through the look in someone's eyes, through the way they speak. And this time, you won't have to doubt. That ability has been present from the very beginning of this reading. You have the gift of seeing beyond words. So, if you're thinking, I'm not sure I'll be able to tell, don't worry. Your heart will recognize it. Not through logic, but through an instant knowing. There will be a moment when someone says something, and you'll feel, yes, I know this is real. A moment of profound and quiet relief. It will feel like a child hearing someone say, that's a really cute outfit you're wearing. And the child, with a bright, carefree smile, simply replies, thank you. No doubt, no second guessing, no overthinking, just pure joy. Because the child feels it. Though, just an example, the message is crystal clear. The kind words coming your way are genuine. They are not sugar-coated, not manipulative. And you, with your sensitivity and intuition, will feel that truth. You won't need to force yourself to believe or analyze every word. All you have to do is receive, because you are worthy. So now, you are beginning to receive these kinds of experiences, and yes, things truly are moving in a more positive direction. This card, in simple terms, is a sign that even greater things are about to unfold. The thoughts, values, and internal landscapes you've held onto, along with the emotional currents you've traveled through until now, seem to be on the brink of renewal, thanks to the shifts currently taking place. I sense that this entire journey, from the beginning of the reading up to this point, forms a complete arc, leading toward the major turning point the cards have been building up to all along. For those of you who chose this pile, as I mentioned at the beginning, the outcome won't change based on which choice happens to feature someone you favor. No matter whom you love, no matter what reason brought you to this reading, I always interpret the cards with the same fairness and integrity for everyone. The message I want to share here is this: all your efforts and quiet perseverance, even if they've gone unseen or unrecognized, have been quietly accumulating. And they're about to culminate in a breakthrough, something that will feel like magic. A powerful shift, just like the shocking news the reading keeps referencing, but in truth, it's not random. It's the natural result of everything you've been planting and nurturing within yourself all this time. That's why, in this reading, I feel a very strong connection between the message in the cards and the real-world changes unfolding around you. It's as if autumn is whispering something important to me, something meaningful is coming with the change of season. And I find myself wondering, is something significant going to happen this coming autumn? Right now, I'm referring to autumn, but regardless of when you're watching this reading, understand that autumn here symbolizes the season after the next. For example, if you're watching in May, then the next season is summer, and the one after that is autumn. If you happen to be watching this during autumn 2025, then consider this current autumn as the one being referenced. And if you're watching at a completely different time, just follow the season that comes after the one you're currently in. Whichever way you interpret it, the most important thing remains this: trust your intuition. Your intuition is your compass. And now, I feel called to pull a card to see what might be awaiting you in the autumn, because the energy surrounding that season feels incredibly strong. Things already feel so full right now, but autumn holds something truly special. I'll ask the cards right away. The card that appears is the Three of Cups, reversed. And this carries a very clear message. It's not speaking of collective gatherings or group celebrations, but instead, it points to a deep, personal connection, a story of just two people, a one-on-one moment, an intimate exchange. A private meeting, not a shared space with many others. It's a moment where the full attention is on you, not scattered, not divided. However, I still sense the message is incomplete, something is missing, so I decide to draw one more card for clarity. This time, I choose from the Bromide deck of the Crystal Tarot, upright. And the message that comes through is this: everything is already here, right here, and it's no accident. Everything that's about to happen is arriving by design. The Eight of Cups, reversed, has appeared again, a card that speaks directly to the decision you made, the choice to stay, to not give up on your greatest dream. You never truly walked away. Maybe on the surface, you said you would give it up. Maybe you tried to compromise, to shift your focus to something else. But deep in your heart, that flame has never gone out. Whether it's love, a dream, a career, or a path you long for, you've held on to it. This card advises that you are exactly where you need to be. If you're currently thinking about changing jobs, for example, that doesn't mean you're in the wrong place now. It means that your energy and emotions are already being drawn toward the place you truly want to go. The place you're mentally and emotionally invested in, that's where you belong. So this reading isn't telling you not to change your environment. It's emphasizing that wherever you truly desire to be, that is where you're meant to be. You are not wrong for staying. And you're not wrong for wanting to leave. As long as you're honest with what you truly want, you're already in the right place for yourself. I draw one more card from the classic Rider-Waite Tarot for further clarity. The card drawn is the Eight of Pentacles, reversed. And this makes the message of the entire reading even clearer. You are no longer bound. You are no longer confined by systems, organizations, rigid rules, or societal norms. The appearance of the reversed Three of Cups already hinted that you no longer need to blend into a group or attend collective gatherings. You are now in a space that is entirely your own. And with the reversed Eight of Pentacles affirming this, it's emphasized again. You are operating in your own unique way, freely and on your own terms. Whether you choose to stay where you are or set out on a new path, this reading once again affirms that you are exactly where you need to be. You're not being restrained, and you're not being forced. You are living in alignment with choices made from the heart, and that is your greatest strength at this moment. So, if you're watching this reading with a focus on your career, and you're considering moving into freelance work or becoming independent, the cards suggest you are gradually moving in that direction. And if you're approaching this from a relationship perspective, the message is similar. You are no longer bound by institutions, expectations, or rigid patterns. You are walking a path that is entirely your own, freely and with intention. For instance, if you and this person were once in a situation that made love difficult, then right now, both of you may be gently and positively stepping out of that situation. And now, you are beginning to live in an environment that truly nurtures love, an ideal setting where both of you can simply be yourselves. I feel it very clearly. Even though you've freed yourself from previous constraints, you are still walking a path you refuse to abandon. Not because you can't let go, but because you don't want to. You're choosing to stay with what your heart truly longs for. I must admit, interpreting this part has been quite a challenge. Not because the message is tangled, but because the way the cards come together is complex. The Hanged Man is typically a card of limitation or suspension, but in this reading, it arrives with a very different message. I am here because I want to be. It's no longer about being forced or having to sacrifice. It's about a conscious, empowered choice. Much like the message from the reversed Eight of Cups, I cannot give up that dream because I don't want to give it up. Now, let's revisit this trio of cards. Three of Cups reversed, Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Hanged Man upright. Together, they form a profound message. You are not bound. You are not stuck in outdated frameworks. You have every right to define the way you love, the way you live, and the way you move toward your desires. Your will, your inner resolve, is the guiding force of this journey. And whatever form your path takes, whichever method or expression you choose, it comes from a place of genuine freedom. You are living in your own rhythm, outside of all imposed structures. And that is the greatest power you hold right now. That is exactly what this reading is speaking to. You are exactly where you want to be. You are not bound. You are not being forced to change your shape or to fit into any social mold. You can still be powerful, radiant, while remaining true to your original, unaltered essence. All the messages are coming together to emphasize this truth. You can be yourself, without transformation, without forcing, and still become the strongest version of who you are. You don't want to let go of that person. You don't want to abandon that dream. You want to hold on to that ability, that feeling, that spark that moves your heart. Even if those around you say you should choose something else, that you should evolve, that you should change, if you know what truly holds meaning for you, then you have every right to move forward in your own way. No need to let go. No need to lose anything. And the message of the reading is clear. You will make it happen. You will live with what you love, you will do what you're meant to do, and you will love in your own way. Everything is unfolding in that direction, and especially as autumn arrives, all of this will begin to manifest. The reading is affirming. By the time autumn comes, you will find yourself in the very place your heart has always longed for. So when autumn arrives, you will no longer be standing at a crossroads, wondering whether you should evolve or stay the same. Instead, you'll say it clearly, I continue to move forward. You won't be standing still, you'll be walking, steadily and confidently as your true self. Of course, if you're watching this reading at a different point in time, autumn can also be interpreted as the season that comes after the next. But the important thing is the time between now and then is not empty. You are not stagnant. You are not stuck. You are in motion. Even if there were past wounds or losses, your journey is still unfolding. And you are not merely surviving through pain, you are moving forward with a powerful resolve to preserve the form of yourself that you hold dear and to keep moving forward with it. No matter what others say, no matter what society expects, you can still choose your own path. And with that choice, you can walk strong, reach your goals, and become the master of your own unique journey. So what I truly want to tell you is this. You absolutely can live the life you desire. And not just can, you will. You will make it happen. I believe that's the essence of this reading's message. And now, based on everything shared, if you're wondering, from the moment I see this reading, is there something I should do? I will draw a card to see if there's anything for you to keep in mind or hold on to as spiritual guidance. Of course, this is not something you have to do. Please receive it as a gentle suggestion. I just pulled the cards and quite unexpectedly, the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups appeared. These are two incredibly positive cards. The Nine of Cups symbolizes wishes coming true, while the Ten of Cups represents complete happiness, peace, and emotional fulfillment. It's as if the universe is reaffirming once more, yes, what you long for will become reality. And you will get to live in a state of serenity, abundance, and joy. And then I also sensed a softer message. It's not that you need to do anything, but simply that the weather is starting to warm up, and maybe it's time to think about changing what you wear. As a way to refresh yourself, to renew your energy, and prepare for the next phase. It's not a demand, just a friendly nudge, like, hey, if it feels right, maybe try on something new. You might feel lighter, brighter, and more refreshed. So that's it. Just stay true to yourself, hold on to what you love, and keep moving forward in your own way. Beautiful things are waiting for you just ahead. Speaking of refreshing your wardrobe, I'd also like to gently suggest one more thing. Try tidying up, clearing out, and energetically cleansing a little. Why? Because you're entering a phase where your wishes are about to come true. And when that happens, whether it's an invitation from a friend, an important meeting, a gathering, or even a date, if you're already prepared, it will be so much easier to embrace and make the most of it. For example, if you've already prepared outfits that are suitable for the current weather, moving around and joining different events will feel much more comfortable and flexible. Now that the weather is warming up, perhaps it's time to have a few light, airy pieces ready, or maybe even get yourself a sun umbrella. That way, when an opportunity suddenly arises and you need to head out quickly, you won't feel caught off guard, no worrying about dripping sweat or feeling sticky in the heat. A little preparation for summer, whether it's clothing, accessories, or simple essentials, can help you flow more freely with the new energy that's coming your way. And if you're watching this reading during a different season, then just prepare for the next one. That's all it takes. This isn't something you have to do, just a light, friendly piece of advice for you to consider. But if the timing feels right, go ahead and give it a try. Sometimes, even small changes like refreshing a few items can shift your energy and uplift your mood in a beautiful way. Nothing is binding you. Welcome it like a fresh breeze and let the natural flow of inspiration guide your journey ahead. So now, I'll draw one more element for your consideration. Who is the lucky person? The lucky person who will support you in the coming period. The card drawn is Leo. This means that someone with the zodiac sign Leo will be your benefactor. This person will support you greatly in the near future. Whether they exist in the physical world, are a public figure, or even a character from a novel, film, or manga, they can still be your lucky person. As long as you feel that they influence you, inspire you, or energize you in some way, then that's them. I sense that this person will bring you new joys, meaningful insights, perhaps through a piece of advice, an action, or even just through the way they live their life. They are the one who will help shift the current of your life and open up a positive turning point. So, if you happen to meet someone who moves your heart, or discover that someone you admire is a Leo, don't be surprised, that could very well be a signal from the universe. And now, to conclude the reading, I'll draw one final card, a card just for you. The card is the Ace of Pentacles, and what's special is that it came out sideways. In this case, I understand that you are standing right at the threshold of manifestation, something you once thought might only be a dream, only a fantasy, but now it is gradually becoming real. If this card had appeared in reverse, it would represent a state of suspension, uncertainty. But drawn sideways, it is shifting, preparing to cross the line into tangible reality. This is the moment when you're getting ready to receive what you've long wished for. This card doesn't say, it might become real if you wait a lot longer. It says, it's coming, and it's not far off. If you've been tired of a situation, if you've ever thought, I wish I could get out of this, the answer is, you're about to. You're about to step out of the darkness and into a place of light. Every message that came before has been building toward this point. You are about to enter a new phase, where your wish takes shape. No longer just a vague hope, but a reality you can almost touch. And you are entirely worthy of it. It's not just about things feeling better. This card, the Ace of Pentacles, carries deeply grounded, powerful energy. It belongs to the realm of pure realism. It doesn't speak of lofty dreams or illusions, but stands as an affirmation. What you've been hoping for will happen in a practical, specific, unmistakable way, and it will appear before your eyes as an undeniable result. It's not just a sense of intuition or a vague feeling that something good is coming. This time, it's real. It will come. It will happen. it will become reality. I know that as a tarot reader, one might hesitate to say something as certain. But in this reading, I dare to say it. Not out of wishful thinking, but because every single card has spoken with clarity. I don't read tarot lightly or irresponsibly. When I say it will happen, it's because the entire reading has consistently pointed to that outcome. If your wish couldn't come true, the cards would have shown that, and I would have explored what needed to change in order to shift the energy. But in this case, there is no such sign. Everything is aligning toward one single point. What you long for is about to take form, is about to become real. And I want you to remember this. All the things you once held close to your heart, I want this to come true. I want to reach that goal. They are entering the phase where they are becoming tangible, within reach. You can feel assured. And it's not solely because of your efforts, although those are certainly important, but also because the environment around you is shifting. External factors, people, circumstances, the overall atmosphere are also moving in your favor. In the real world, it's not always possible to change everything on your own. But right now, the world around you is changing with you. And that is precisely why, this time, your wish will truly take form. You are not alone. And you are in the right place at the right time for that miracle to unfold. In real life, there are times when no matter how hard you've tried, if the response from the outside world isn't what you hoped for, or if the person opposite you doesn't change, then the outcome may not shift much. That is the harsh reality of life. But this time, your situation is different. You've given your all, and not only have you changed, but the world around you is also shifting. The transformation isn't coming from just one side, but from both, from you and your environment, from you and others, from you and your circumstances. And it's this mutual movement that allows the current to begin flowing strongly in sync. The cards in this reading have emphasized that again and again. It's not just about your personal effort, but about the entire picture gradually evolving in a positive direction. Every effort you've made, even the smallest ones, is now being gathered and shaped into real results, and soon you'll see those results appear clearly before your eyes. You've done the work, and now the universe is responding by showing you that the things you once wished for are becoming real. Everything is changing, truly changing. Finally, the lucky color for you on this journey is light sky blue, a shade that embodies gentleness, clarity, and freshness. It aligns beautifully with the energy coming your way, soft yet profound, flowing yet grounded. Keep walking with what you believe in. You are absolutely on the right path. And if it feels right to you, I'd also suggest another color that may resonate deeply in this reading: light green, especially tender, youthful shades. If you've been paying attention, those tones have appeared repeatedly throughout the cards, haven't they? That's why light green seems like a color worth considering. Of course, if this feels a little too abstract or out of place, feel free to ignore it. But aside from the soft sky blue associated with Leo energy earlier, light green, with its fresh, gentle brightness, appears to carry positive energy for you as well. If you're looking to choose colors for fashion, everyday items, or simply to invite a shift in your surroundings, you might try soft, blended hues such as light sky blue, light green, muted orange, pastel pink, or soft golden yellow. Naturally, it's not that avoiding these colors means bad luck, not at all. But if you're seeking new, light, and comforting energies, these soft tones could be a lovely option. This brings us to the end of the reading for those who chose Pile 1. If you enjoyed this message, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like to show your support. Your encouragement is the powerful driving force that helps me continue creating and sharing meaningful content. If something in this reading touched your heart, I'd love it if you could leave a comment or even just a small emoji to let me know the message reached you. I always look forward to reading your thoughts, so don't hesitate to share. Thank you for staying with me all the way until the end of the video. I'll see you again in the next reading. Hello to everyone who chose Pile 2. Thank you for your patience. Now, I'll begin the reading for those of you who selected the second pile. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love and compassion. Today's topic carries an incredibly powerful title. A shocking revelation is coming on a fated level. Just the sound of it feels intense, doesn't it? So, let's dive into your reading and see what messages are ready to unfold. The World card has appeared, and it's upright. Wow! This is an incredibly potent sign, signaling the opening of a vast and expansive vision. Right at the beginning of the reading, the World shows up as your near future. And along with that, in the overall dominant energy of this spread, we have the Devil card. This is a truly intense combination. It seems that you are standing at the threshold of a major transformation. Something with immense impact is approaching. I also want to mention a small note. If you were torn between choosing Pile 2 and Pile 3, it might be worthwhile to take a look at Pile 3 as well. There's a chance that it also holds important messages for you. Of course, if that advice doesn't resonate, feel free to set it aside. But I have a strong sense that you may be in a state of inner hesitation right now, not because you don't know what to do, but because you're weighing two different approaches. Should I go with option A or option B? You're seeking the most effective, most aligned way to proceed, whether that's in your career, a relationship, or a personal project. However, the overall feeling is not that you're stuck between letting go or holding on, but rather, which direction should I move forward in? And this shows that you still have hope and belief. Of course, for some people, the hesitation might still lie in whether to give up or walk away, but the main energy I sense here is that you're leaning more toward continuing. You just haven't figured out which path would be more suitable. And if someone is truly watching this reading with the mindset of should I let go, I feel that deep down, your heart already knows the answer. You're simply seeking a confirmation, a clearer sense of reassurance from the outside. In this reading, the most striking image is that of a wand, as if the energy is being drawn toward a single choice, a direction you've already identified within your mind. It feels like you already know the path you want to walk, and now it's just a matter of deciding how to go about it. It's like you've already chosen to pursue option A, you've committed to the main route. But within that choice, there are several branches like A1 or A2, and now you're weighing which of those subpaths to follow. In other words, it's no longer about choosing between A and B, but rather, within A, which way should I go? Furthermore, the final outcome of the reading revealed the Seven of Cups, indicating that you're currently standing in front of many possibilities. It's no longer just A and B. Even within A, there are countless diverging paths, A, B, C, D, E, F. Each representing different methods, different approaches, and right now, you're trying to navigate through them, searching for the most optimal direction for yourself. The feeling this reading brings is that you're in the middle of a forest filled with crossroads. And although you've already identified a general direction, you're still carefully evaluating which trail should I take to move forward the fastest, the most accurately, and in the most personally aligned way? It's a deep analysis, a refined filtering process, after having already established the overall vision. In addition, I sense that those who chose this pile may be dealing with a great deal of mental and emotional processing. You have quite a lot on your plate, with many matters requiring your attention all at once. In the past, the reversed Five of Cups appeared, a sign that you've experienced pain, loss, or a sense of disappointment. But it's precisely through those experiences that a shift has begun within you. It seems that you're slowly learning to prioritize your own emotions, desires, and voice. You're beginning to realize that the most important question is, what do I truly want? And that question has become your guiding compass during this current phase of life. The reversed Ace of Swords also jumped out during the shuffling process, reflecting a lingering hesitation, a slight mental fog that hasn't fully cleared. However, what stands out is that alongside it appeared the Ace of Wands, both cards symbolizing beginnings, fresh motivation, and newly forming clarity. Even though you're still tangled in a web of choices, you are holding the wand in your hand, symbolizing belief, the desire to act, and the urge to begin something in your own way. This reveals that despite the uncertainty, deep down you already know what you've chosen. You're holding the wand of direction, and you know very clearly where it's pointing. That said, doubts like am I going the right way? Or is this path really okay? Continue to create hesitation within you. This is a natural response, especially when you've been hurt before. As for others, the people around you, or someone specific you may be thinking about while watching this reading, the card of the Hanged Man has appeared. This indicates that they are in a state of suspension, stuck, or hanging between multiple options without making any clear moves. They might be pausing to observe, waiting for something, or simply not ready to take a decisive step forward. The Hanged Man suggests that not only you, but also those around you, or the person you're thinking of, are going through a deep internal process of reflection regarding the right path to take. They too are feeling confused, unsure about which approach would be best. Some of them may have begun to glimpse their way forward, while others remain trapped in uncertainty, unable to clearly find a way out. But no matter which stage they're in, they are gradually approaching the threshold of discovering a solution. There's a sense that the people around you, whether it's a specific individual or a group, are currently surrounded by knots of confusion, feeling trapped, overwhelmed, and unable to find a clear solution. They're still struggling with the question, which way is truly the best, and the answer has yet to emerge. Looking back at the past portion of the reading, the reverse Knight of Pentacles appeared, indicating a long and rather slow-moving journey. You may have placed high hopes in something, but the results came very slowly, or perhaps there was no visible progress at all. Whether it relates to work, relationships, or personal goals, you may have asked yourself many times, when will things finally start to move? When will I see real results? Will what I've been waiting for ever truly come? These are all perfectly valid concerns. The reading also reveals that what you've been thinking about is not something fleeting or short-term. Rather, this is something you've been connected to for many months, possibly even years, something you've poured your heart into, faced with sincerity, and committed yourself to wholeheartedly. It could be a long-standing relationship you've been nurturing, a job you've been diligently working on, or a dream you've never let go of. And it's not just you. The people around you share a similar spirit. Though it might not be clearly visible on the surface, they too are carrying deep inner struggles. They've also been earnestly facing their own stories. No one involved here is being careless or half-hearted. Just like you, they're thinking intensely, experimenting constantly, and aching profoundly within. If at times you feel they seem indifferent or distant, this reading suggests that such detachment may only be a facade. Beneath that exterior, they are just as tangled up as you, perhaps even more so. The appearance of the Hanged Man signals that this person, or these people in your life, are in a phase of pause, a temporary halt for introspection. Yet, at the same time, I feel a powerful wave of insight coming through at this very moment. And what's especially striking is the appearance of the Devil in your current position. To me, this image feels like you're facing the final battle, like standing before the final boss at the end of a long journey. If you've come this far, then this is the moment you're nearing a breakthrough, a release from anxiety, fear, and restraint. This card speaks directly to you. You are about to be free. Although the Devil card is often interpreted in various ways, as attachment, fear, or intense desire, in this particular reading, when paired with the Two of Wands, it emerges as a symbol of tremendous determination. There's something within you that has ripened, solidified, and taken shape, and that very thing is now generating the inner strength needed for you to step into a new direction. Here, the Devil is not an obstacle. It is the driving force, the energy born from deep belief and a conscious, intentional choice. When contrasted with the Hanged Man, which represents those around you, it becomes clear, not only you, but also they, or the person you have in mind, are in a state of transformation. It seems they too are on the verge of breaking free from that suspended state, propelled by a profound decision, an inner urging rooted in values, belief, or a long-held ideal. And that moment of liberation, not just for you, but for them as well, is drawing very near. The theme of this reading is a groundbreaking revelation on a fated level, and at the final outcome, the Seven of Cups appears. To me, this card seems to say that the revelation is not merely an external piece of information arriving from the outside world, but also a profound inner shift within you, the moment you face a multitude of possibilities and choices, and from among them, you finally choose the one that truly makes your heart tremble. And then, the world appears, as if to affirm, everything will come full circle. The image of the little squirrel holding two wands feels like it's saying, I have arrived where I need to be. I have completed this journey. The energy of a joyful ending is strongly present, not because everything turned out perfectly, but because you walked the right path, listened to your true inner calling, and chose the thing that brings deep fulfillment to your soul. This is a happy ending in the most profound and mature sense. It feels as if everything is leading to a resolution so complete that I can't help but exclaim, all right then, let's see what this happy ending truly holds. But before diving into the specifics of the near future or the tangible developments, I want to let the main outcome card stand first, and only then guide us into the details that follow. Because this topic is so intense, a fated, earth-shaking message, I chose to work with an equally powerful energy when doing this reading. Now let's take a look and see, what is this destined revelation that's about to arrive? And then, The card that appears is the Ten of Swords. You are absolutely moving toward a better direction than where you are now, and that is the clear message being conveyed. So in truth, the answer is simple. Things are getting better. I mentioned earlier that you're standing before many choices, didn't I? The Ten of Swords echoes that same message. This is a card that depicts 10 swords, a symbol of burdens, past pain, and deep wounding. But at the same time, it signifies that a painful cycle is coming to an end. What's especially striking is the image of dawn, light breaking through from the deepest, darkest point. In this card's imagery, you can see yourself rising from the bottom of the ocean, slowly ascending toward the surface, toward the light. This shows that you're not only escaping pain, but also stepping into a new reality, one that is clearer, freer, and better. At the same time, the image of 10 swords also points to many choices. And so, the fated, earth-shaking news that's coming your way is this. You will be given many opportunities, new choices, new doors. And it's precisely this abundance of options that will become the turning point, freeing you from the deadlock or sorrow you once endured. This means that you're no longer trapped in a single, high-pressure choice. Instead, multiple paths will unfold, bringing you relief, liberation, and a clear sense that I am stepping into a brighter, better future. This is the monumental news the cards have been pointing to, a message of profound transformation. Pain is ending. Choices are appearing. Dawn is breaking. However, I still sense that the message remains somewhat broad, so I've drawn another card to bring more clarity. What exactly are these choices related to? And now the next card is the Scythe. With its sharp, decisive imagery, the scythe is often associated with cutting away, severing ties, and making a critical decision, as if the time has come for you to release something that no longer serves you. It feels like you're entering a phase where you yourself are saying, "This is it, it's time to end this." The presence of the scythe might make you feel uneasy. After all, words like cutting, severing, and final decision can sound intense. But within this reading, I sense no negative energy from it whatsoever. So to understand its true message more clearly, I continued drawing cards, seeking to uncover the deeper meaning it's meant to convey. And then, the following cards delivered a message that is crystal clear. Something will be offered to you, either from the other person involved or from an external force. You will receive invitations, proposals, gestures, or opportunities. In other words, many doors will begin to open. If you're watching this reading with someone specific in mind, that person may be the one presenting these options to you. For example, shall we take this path or that one? Should we start by living together or go ahead and register our marriage first? Scenarios like these, depending on your unique situation, can be interpreted accordingly. Whether in a personal relationship or in your professional life, you are going to find yourself in a position where you are the one being given choices. And what matters is this: these choices are not forced or negative. On the contrary, they bring a sense of relief, as if to say, finally, I'm free from that feeling of being stuck. At last, I get to move forward. Every option that comes to you at this moment is intended to guide you into a better situation, one that is more stable, more aligned with what you've been hoping for. And this doesn't apply only to one specific person. It can just as easily show up in your professional environment. For instance, you may receive multiple collaboration offers from different companies, or find yourself approached by various clients, partners, or promising projects all at once. You will be handed the power to choose. And to gain deeper insight into the appearance of the Scythe card, I continued drawing, and the next card that appeared was the Star, an incredibly beautiful sign. The star speaks of hope, of a radiant future, and of feeling reoriented, as though, after all the trials, you've finally found your guiding star. In this reading, the star is telling you that the opportunities coming your way are not merely fleeting options, but ones that carry lasting value. These are real possibilities with the potential to open an entirely new and positive chapter. You may find yourself wondering, should I accept this? Or is this something I'm supposed to do? But the truth is, you're not being forced. And if you truly recognize the value of what is being offered to you, you'll see that it is well worth serious consideration. Whether it's about relationships or your career, the star affirms that these are steps that will bring you closer to what you've long wished for, an opportunity that is practical, healing, and emotionally resonant at the same time. What's wonderful is that this isn't the kind of situation where you're reluctantly doing something out of obligation. On the contrary, this is the kind of opportunity that genuinely excites you, something that stirs joy and eagerness in your heart, something you'll want to embrace with your whole being. The reading shows clearly that you will willingly welcome it. And whether you're watching this with love or friendship in mind, the message remains the same. This is a choice that brings joy, something you'll feel truly grateful has come into your life. This isn't one of those situations where you're forced to choose from 7 frustrating options like, come on, pick one, now get into the muddy ditch, crawl under the car, get splashed with mud, and check every tire one by one. Not at all. And if you really are fixing your car in real life, no worries, this is just a metaphor. The reading makes it clear, you won't find yourself in a messy, unstable situation or be pressured into doing something just to please someone else. Whether you're asking about a job, a proposal from a friend, or an offer from someone you admire, what's coming your way will be something that truly makes you go, wow, I feel seen. Wow, this is meaningful. Not the kind of lukewarm, uninspired invitations that make you think, here we go again. Just nod and get it over with. The reading strongly emphasizes, whatever you're thinking about, it's not going to disappoint you. This is a significant offer or opportunity, something that will make you want to prepare yourself properly. It might even be something like, okay, I should probably start a diet to get in shape before this vacation, the kind of opportunity that inspires you to improve, to invest in yourself. Truly, this is not some random, casual invite like, hey, you free? Want to hang out for a bit? This reading is a clear confirmation. What's coming is something valuable enough to move your heart, something that will make you think, I want to do this right. So, if you're feeling nervous, it's completely justified because this is something big. Not because it's complicated, but because it's worth it. Whether an invitation excites you or not depends on the person. Some might say, I get excited about any invitation, but excitement still has levels. Sometimes it's a level 100 thrill, sometimes it's barely a 10, and then there are those invitations that make you think, well, I guess it's okay, but something feels off, kind of vague or half-hearted. But this time, the reading makes it clear, this is not one of those lukewarm offers. This is the kind of invitation that makes you say, oh wow, I need to seriously get ready for this. The kind that makes you want to give it your all, to show up fully, to shine. A feeling overflowing with motivation and positive energy. Whether it's a job offer, an invitation from a friend, or an opportunity presented by someone you care about, it all carries that exact energy of yes, this is something I truly want to be part of. It's the kind of opportunity that brings genuine joy, not something you have to fake enthusiasm for, or accept out of politeness or obligation. And to explore your true emotional response to that moment more deeply, I pulled another card. The card I drew was the King of Pentacles, a card that represents value, achievement, stability, and true success. This means that your excitement won't just come from the joy of the moment, it will come from truly recognizing the immense value of this opportunity. Whether it's a work project or a relationship, your reaction won't be, oh, this sounds nice, but rather, this is genuinely meaningful. This has value. I need to seize it. Your emotion goes far beyond happiness. It's a deep sense of recognition, a powerful heartbeat that says, this is something worth investing in, something worth giving my all. And that confirms, whatever it is you've been waiting for, it's going to ignite your heart with passion. Another remarkable point is that the cup cards have been appearing repeatedly, which gives me the strong sense that everything you've once imagined, dreamed of, even just once, is about to rush into your life, all at once, suddenly and unexpectedly. So, to make things more concrete, I asked the question, how many options or invitations will come your way? Whether in career, relationships, proposals, or life paths, I wanted to get a specific number, something to help you prepare mentally. And the answer was strikingly clear, it's not just 3 choices. Because earlier, the 7 of Cups had already appeared, meaning 7 choices, so anything less wouldn't be logically consistent. This time, the number I pulled is 3 times that. So, if you currently have 1 opportunity soon, you'll have 3. If 3 people are reaching out to you now, that number could rise to 9. 9 choices. It might sound unbelievable, but this reading is pointing toward a literal explosion of options. And if you're watching this reading while thinking, but no one's making me any offers right now, then prepare yourself, because 3 invitations or 3 crossroads are coming your way almost simultaneously. Clear choices will unfold right before your eyes, in the form of questions like, Do you want to go this way or that way? Live here or there? Work with Team A or Team B? A series of questions, big and small, all centered around things that truly matter to you. If you're a freelancer or working with multiple clients, you might receive collaboration offers from 3 new companies at once. If you're seeking love or social connection, it's possible that 3 different people will express a desire to connect with you. And if you already have a few choices on the table, get ready for that number to triple. The 3 of Swords also appeared, but in this context, it doesn't carry a negative meaning. The imagery on the card shows someone resting, relaxing, which gives me the sense that these developments will arrive precisely when you least expect them. Like you're just sipping tea, unwinding for a moment, and then your phone buzzes, an email comes through, a message lights up your screen, and bam, a wave of choices suddenly appears before you. So, if you're currently in a state where everything feels still, motionless, just relax. Because the very moment you breathe out a sigh of relief, the universe is going to rain down a storm of opportunities on you. Now, let me ask the next question. When will all of this arrive? And another equally important one, why is something so sudden about to happen? I pulled cards to get clearer insight into the timing because maybe some of you watching this are thinking, wait, this sounds like a dream. Is it really true? And to be honest, I've had the same thought. Sometimes I wonder myself, am I painting a picture that's just too beautiful? But that's okay. When there's doubt, we pull cards for clarity. And what I received was a message that said, I stay up late. This points to the energy of the night or those quiet, still moments when the world has gone to sleep. Combined with the earlier appearance of the Ten of Swords, a card that also symbolizes the very end of the night and the first light of dawn, this suggests that the timing of these events will align with the hours between night and early morning, or during moments when you are resting, relaxed, and least expecting anything. Another important point, this is not happening in October. Even if certain images or numbers might hint at October, I want to be clear, that's not the time frame. Why? Because in the main reading, the World card appeared in the near future position, and within the framework of professional tarot practice, near future is typically defined as within 3 months from the present moment. We're now at the end of May, so October would fall outside that 3-month window. It wouldn't align with the structure of the reading, and the logic of the spread would no longer hold. So we're talking about something that will happen within the next 3 months, specifically before August. Additionally, the message about staying up late and the imagery of the night further suggest that this could arrive at an unexpected time when you're relaxed, when your guard is down, or during your usual rest hours. For example, while you're sipping tea at night, stretched out watching a movie, or even just getting ready for bed, and then, bam, a message, an email, a call comes in and shifts everything. In summary, within the next 3 months, very likely during the night or early morning, at a time when your mind is elsewhere, something significant will arrive. Why does it come so suddenly? Because everything you once imagined, once hoped for, has already been quietly set in motion behind the scenes. And when that flow becomes strong enough, it will surge forward all at once. The universe rarely knocks gently, it tends to arrive when you finally let go, so that everything can unfold at the right time. That said, it's true, if an invitation or opportunity were to show up in the middle of the night, it would make more sense in a romantic context. But when it comes to work or other types of relationships, a midnight message might seem a little strange, right? So I pulled another card to clarify the message. What exactly is the deeper meaning behind this late-night timing? And the card that appeared was the Queen of Pentacles. Along with that came the Four of Wands and the Empress. The message is now strikingly clear. All signs point toward a feminine figure. We can say this. The upcoming opportunities, invitations, or decisions are very likely to come from a woman, or at the very least, from someone who embodies a nurturing, proactive, grounded, and capable energy. Whether you're watching this reading with work, social relationships, or even love in mind, the message here is that the person bringing this opportunity is very likely to be a woman. A capable woman, someone who has no issue working through the night, who handles things proactively, and knows how to create opportunities not just for herself, but for others as well. She could be a friend, a colleague, an older sister, or a potential partner, someone who might invite you to an event, introduce you to someone important, or act as a bridge that opens up many new paths for you. And since she might work during late hours, The message tied to nighttime could imply that her message will arrive unexpectedly, a midnight text, a late-night call, or a sudden morning notification. On the other hand, if you're watching this reading in the context of love and there's absolutely no third-party woman involved, then the cards may be pointing to something else, the influence or involvement of a mother, sister, or a close female figure in their life. For instance, if you've been waiting for this person to make a move, confess their feelings, or decide on marriage, and nothing seems to be happening, it's possible that they've recently had a conversation with their mother or sister, and that heartfelt discussion is now pushing them toward taking action. This is not the shadow of a third party to worry about, not at all. The reading doesn't speak of interference in a negative way, but rather of a positive influence, someone close and supportive, who motivates them to move forward. And it may very well be this influence that triggers the sudden shift, the invitation, opportunity, or turning point in your connection that arrives out of the blue. Looking at the energy of this reading, it becomes very clear that the woman appearing in this context is a family member, someone like a grandmother, mother, sister, or a close female relative. There's absolutely no vague or ambiguous energy here, and certainly not the presence of another woman in a negative sense. Not at all. Instead, it's a feeling of warmth, deep connection, and blood ties, someone who holds a meaningful influence over the central figure you're asking about. It's possible that women in this person's family, a mother, grandmother, or sister, have offered advice, shared their thoughts, or simply chatted casually about the future, and that gentle exchange has stirred something in your person, awakening them and prompting them to take action. Even if nothing was said outright, just hearing a heartfelt remark or sensing the genuine care and expectation from a loved one may have been enough to shift their perspective. It's a kind of awakening influence, one that uplifts and encourages from a place of love. Whether you're watching this reading about love or career, the core message remains the same. This influential woman is the key figure who either brings the message to you or helps create the opportunity for you. In a work or community context, this could be a highly dedicated woman, someone who works late into the night, possibly through the night, someone proactive, resourceful, and hardworking. And it is she who will extend the invitation, present the proposal, or open the door to a new path for you. In summary, if you're asking about love, this person may be deeply influenced by advice from their mother or sister, and that influence is what prompts them to take action. If you're asking about work or other types of relationships, a woman in your environment will be the one to bring you a valuable opportunity, someone who likely works late hours or has a habit of handling things while others are resting. And do you remember? The original purpose was to ask when this will all unfold. So I continued by drawing 3 more cards to clarify the timing. Since we had already established that October doesn't align with the energy of the reading, I set the intention to find a more accurate time frame. I drew 3 cards to break down the timing as clearly as possible. And once again, the number 10 appeared, this time in the form of the 10 of Pentacles. And I must say, it aligns perfectly with everything that has come up before. The 10 of Pentacles strongly represents family, ancestry, lineage, and multi-generational bonds, so without a doubt, the opportunity or invitation coming your way is likely connected to a female relative, a grandmother, mother, aunt, sister, or someone else close in your extended family. Whether you're asking about a relationship, career, or a specific opportunity, this woman may not be the one who acts directly, but her presence and influence are the underlying reason why the door opens for you. Perhaps she once praised you in front of someone, spoke about you to another person, or simply mentioned your name in a family conversation, enough to spark someone's attention and lead them to start considering a move. The energy of family, of ancestry, of kinship is so strong in this reading that I'm certain when everything unfolds, you'll look back and realize, so it was because my aunt said that one thing, or her mother mentioned me a while ago, or that person knew I was so-and-so's niece/nephew, and suddenly, every connection will make perfect sense. Now, about the timing, why does the number 10 keep showing up, even though we already ruled out October? That's absolutely right. This reading includes the World card in the near future position, and according to professional tarot principles, the time frame for near future events is no more than 3 months from the present. We're currently in mid-May, which means October falls too far outside that window and wouldn't align with the structure of the reading. However, the number 10 is not meaningless. It may very well point to a specific date. For example, June 10th or July 10th. both well within the 3-month time frame. To confirm this, I asked the cards directly, is it the 10th? And the answer I received was a clear, resounding yes. An undeniable affirmation from the energy of the spread. So you can prepare yourself for a time frame around the 10th of the coming months, like June 10th, July 10th, or a moment very close to those dates. Most likely, on a quiet evening when your guard is down, a message, an invitation, or a proposal will suddenly arrive, opening up a sequence of events that could shift the entire flow of your life. And truly, I don't sense this is something that will come too late. The feeling is clear, it's closer than you think. When the number 10 kept repeating, I wondered, could this be the 10th of a specific month? And the moment I asked, the reading answered with a firm and resounding yes. It felt like a direct conversation with the universe. That's when it became clear to me, this is pointing to the 10th of the upcoming month, or whichever month follows the moment you're watching this reading. Since I'm drawing these cards in May, the next month is June. However, if you're watching this at a later time, say in June or July, then the message can be understood as referring to the 10th of the month following your current one. And because the world still appears in the near future position, this message absolutely falls within the 3-month window. What I feel intuitively is this: it's going to happen soon, likely within the next month. There's no energy of delay or distance here. So, get ready for a significant event, invitation, or opportunity arriving around the 10th of the upcoming month, that is, June 10th, or if you're watching this at another time, then the 10th of the next month from when you're viewing it. And if you feel more aligned with the idea that this will happen within the next 10 days, or 10 days after watching this reading, you can absolutely trust that. The reading clearly says, if it resonates with you, if it stirs something within you, then that's the right timing for you. In summary, you can choose between 2 interpretations. The 10th day of the upcoming month, such as June 10th if you're currently in May, or within the next 10 days, or 10 days from today, if that time frame feels more intuitively right for you. Embrace this message with an open heart. Choose the interpretation that brings you the most peace, the most ease, because what's coming is a gift, meant just for you. And no matter which time frame you choose, one thing is certain: it is coming. When it does arrive, it won't simply be a fleeting opportunity, because afterward, the world appears. And as you know, the world is the ultimate card of fulfillment, the completion of a journey, the closing of a cycle, and the gateway to a new, higher level. In other words, a happy ending has already been written. And yet, I still felt called to go deeper. What exactly happens after that moment? I drew one more card from the pre-arrow deck, and the card that came through was the King of Wands. This is a card of leadership, success, achieving goals, and stepping confidently into the next big chapter. And do you know what's truly magical? The King of Wands carries a message that perfectly aligns with the world. Both speak of reaching a major milestone and immediately moving forward to build the next vision. It's not about achieving something and then resting. It's about achieving, then reaching even higher. What does this mean? It means that the upcoming event isn't just an invitation, a proposal, or an opportunity that makes you feel seen. It will actually manifest. It becomes a defining moment, a concrete accomplishment. It could be a confession that leads to an official relationship, an invitation that turns into a real job, an event that marks a tangible turning point in your life. And it won't be something fleeting, like, oh, they just said that. No. This reading makes it very clear. It arrives and it materializes. It doesn't end with a message, a call, or a vague promise. It happens and it propels you into the next phase of your journey. So when you receive that message or invitation, don't brush it off thinking they're just being polite. Trust that this is the beginning of something that will take form. And then, I wanted to know, when will the actual turning point happen, the moment when it becomes real? Because clearly, the invitation and the manifestation are 2 separate milestones. So I drew one more card, asking, when will the shift truly take shape? Previously, we talked about the number 10, symbolizing the 10th of the upcoming month. And now, the next card revealed the number 11. So, what does that mean? Quite possibly, the very next day, the 11th, could be the moment everything starts to truly move into action. This means that it won't stop at simply receiving an invitation, announcement, or proposal on the 10th. By the 11th, things will have practically begun. It could be a contract being signed, a project officially kicking off, A relationship moving into a new phase. A promise turning into a concrete plan. This isn't casual talk or vague intention, it's let's do this, followed immediately by action. A tangible step forward, grounded in reality and backed by clear movement, not just abstract energy. You'll find yourself stepping into a new chapter, one where the decision has been made, and now it's time to truly begin. And that's precisely why the world appears, because a cycle has closed, a journey has been completed, and you are now fully prepared for the next chapter. The King of Wands appears alongside it to affirm that you won't simply receive this shift. You'll lead it, embody it, and actively plan what comes next. Honestly, the outcome of this reading is so powerful that even I had to pause and ask, with results this big, will the listener even believe it? But everything is flowing with such clarity and consistency. It's truly remarkable. So I pulled one more oracle card to ask, why is something this big happening right now? And the message that came through was the balance of masculine and feminine energy. From the very beginning, you've carried within you two powerful forces, something clearly reflected in cards like the Two of Wands and the Devil, both of which symbolize duality, two poles, two paths, two potentials. And now, you've reached a point where the masculine energy, action, leadership, decisiveness, and the feminine energy, receptivity, creativity, intuition, are perfectly balanced within you. It's precisely this harmony that has created a strong, steady current of energy capable of drawing in fated opportunities. To summarize, Day 10. The invitation arrives, the door opens. Day 11. Action begins, the shift takes place, and plans are set in motion. The outcome. You achieve something concrete and defined, and prepare to step into a brand new chapter. Why is this happening now? Because you are ready, internally and externally, emotionally and mentally, intuitively and practically, everything is aligned in divine timing. And now, the universe responds. In this reading, both your present energy and the World card feature imagery of two elements, as if two polarities are coexisting or two choices are running parallel. Even the Yes card carries this symbolism, two orbs being supported by a single pair of hands, once again highlighting the theme of duality. I feel this is the key, a central factor pointing toward balance. So I asked, is this message of balance referring to the harmony of masculine and feminine energies within yourself? Or is it about a relationship, another person, or an external dynamic? And the card I pulled was the Nine of Swords, reversed. I also connected this to the Five of Cups, which had appeared earlier. The reverse Nine of Swords shows that you have either already begun to move out of a state of anxiety, restlessness, and sleepless nights, a place where your mind was once caught in negative spirals or self-doubt. Perhaps in the past, you felt lost, uncertain, or questioned your own worth. But now, that is beginning to shift. The inner balance within you is becoming stronger than ever before. The Five of Cups carries a similar message. The image traditionally shows someone mourning the three spilled cups in front of them, unaware that two cups still stand behind, symbols of hope and possibility. And now, I sense that you've begun to turn around and see those two remaining cups. In other words, you're starting to recognize what you still have, the chances you once overlooked, the potential that has yet to be fully explored. You may have come to realize, I do still have the strength to move forward. I can choose something better. I still have opportunities, something of real value remains in my hands. And because you've made that shift, because you've crossed through the space of fear and entered a foundation of internal balance, the universe is now able to bring you a new choice, a new path, a new door, or even a new person. In other words, this reading isn't saying that you were wrong before or that you were unstable. It's saying that now you've reached a level of confidence and inner steadiness that allows you to receive something far more deserving. And because of that, a series of new choices, turning points, or rare opportunities is about to appear in front of you. This is the reward for your inner growth. And every magical thing that follows is a direct result of the balance you've built within yourself. For example, just as a way to illustrate this more clearly, you've started to recognize your own magnetism, your true potential, your real capabilities. And even though you're living your daily life as usual, your inner energy has shifted. You're now radiating a new kind of presence, and that is exactly what draws others in, what causes opportunities to find you on their own. It might be something like someone unexpectedly reaching out to you, or a matchmaker, a close friend, or a community extending an offer. Would you like to meet this person? These invitations come naturally, as if you didn't have to try at all, and yet the universe still delivers its gifts to you. You may not fully realize that you've touched something profound, and that doesn't mean you're not perceptive. Not at all. It simply means that sometimes the most powerful shifts happen within the subconscious, through silent inner changes that begin to turn the wheel of transformation. And this reading is telling you, you've already started to tap into something. The Two of Wands shows that you're holding the wand of direction, and the Devil, a card rich in duality, intense magnetism, and the binding force of will, further affirms that you are at the center of a powerful energetic convergence. In other words, these choices are not appearing by coincidence. It is you who has reached a frequency strong enough to attract them. Whether you're fully aware of it or not, you are already holding something deeply important. You may have just discovered a latent ability within yourself, or simply come to a realization like, wait, I can actually do this, or I am worthy of something better. And the very moment that recognition occurred, that's when the doors began to open. This reading isn't just suggesting you look back at the two remaining cups behind you. It's saying, you've already turned around. You're holding them in your hands now. And this is the moment when you begin to receive your reward, the choices, the opportunities, and the growth that comes from an inner power already awakened. It's truly magnificent. Even I had to pause for a moment because the message is so powerful. I asked, what are the two things you're currently holding, the two forces, two choices, two aspects walking alongside you? And when I pulled the cards to answer this, the response was absolutely radiant. Those two things are abundance and fulfillment, and radiance, magnetism, and unexpected joy. At first glance, they might sound abstract, but when explored more deeply, they can absolutely take on concrete meanings depending on your context. If you're asking about love, these two forces may be your natural allure, beauty, and the inner light you carry, both in appearance and energy. Your open heart, full of grace and quiet generosity, a heart that has given deeply without demanding in return. And now, the universe is responding by bringing you a love that truly matches your worth. If you're asking about career, these may represent your practical skills, your ability to generate income, and financial potential, perhaps something you haven't fully acknowledged or honored until now. Your creativity, unique vision, personal influence, and the magnetism in how you lead or express yourself. And if you're simply asking about yourself, this is the moment when you begin to realize, I've truly grown into this version of me. I'm not lacking. I'm finally seeing my true talents and worth. I don't just attract, I create real and lasting value. In short, the two things you now hold are 1. The ability to generate growth, whether material or spiritual, a true abundance. 2. A radiant energy, magnetic, joyful, that naturally draws in happiness and surprise. No matter what area of life this reading is for, these are the two forces standing beside you now. You may have only just begun to recognize them, or perhaps you're not fully conscious of them yet, but the reading confirms you already possess them. And that's exactly why the doors are opening, the choices are arriving, and joy is flowing toward you. Whether it's love or a long-held dream, you've already begun to realize it, or right now, you're in the phase where that realization is just about to unfold. You're gradually tuning into it, perhaps even unconsciously. Even if you're not fully aware of it yet, your inner self has already started to connect with this energy, and it's beginning to radiate outward. Others can feel it too. And that's exactly what is drawing in the invitations, the opportunities, the proposals, the flow of connection is starting to move toward you. In essence, you are the one creating this turning point. You are the one opening this door, even if you haven't yet realized it. I feel that this is also the very essence of what the message of balance is emphasizing. It's truly wondrous. So I feel called to look even deeper into the bigger picture, to see how this shift is going to ripple outward into every part of your life, from love to your overall path. The energy feels so strong, it's impossible not to keep going. To begin, I'll draw cards for the overall aspect of your life, things like career, goals, beauty, finances, and health. I'll use the Angel Answers deck, as I feel a special connection to it for you right now. And once again, the cards seem to be whispering, please recognize it, pay attention to the signs surrounding you. As I mentioned before, you possess talent, charisma, and remarkable qualities, and now, the universe is gently urging you to become fully aware of them. But this isn't a warning that you'll fail. If you don't realize it, there's no need to worry. The energy here isn't threatening. It's a heartfelt, tender invitation. Look at yourself and see how wonderful you truly are. Just take a moment to notice. There's a powerful force doing everything it can just to accompany you, to uplift and support you. This presence is genuinely serious and sincere in its desire to be by your side. And the cards are affirming this, not in a preachy or instructional way, not in a "you better realize it now, or you'll miss out" tone. Not at all. It's more like a devoted fan speaking to the beloved character they adore. You're so amazing. How can you not see that? Please, just see yourself clearly. These cards reveal that you are the central figure, the one so deeply cherished that even the universe longs to reflect your beauty back to you. Imagine your own inner self turning into a silent fan club, cheering and calling out, "Please, just see it." Still, there's no need to feel pressured. It's perfectly okay if you don't realize it all at once. There's no punishment, no loss of happiness if you don't immediately recognize your worth. Not at all. You're free to say to the cards, "Yeah, I get it," and simply continue walking at your own pace, following your own rhythm. But truly, this is what the universe wants you to know, that the moment of recognition is coming. You will look back and be amazed. Wait, I really did all that? Wait, I'm actually that magnetic? A profound realization, an awakening to your true potential, is on the horizon. Because if these cards have appeared in response to your question about what lies ahead, then that means this is exactly what's waiting for you. However, there's something I can clearly sense. You might be someone who's quite hard on yourself. You see far, think deeply, and constantly hold yourself to high standards. Even though in the future you'll become much more confident than you are now, there will still be a tendency to underestimate yourself. While your fans, including the cards and the people around you, are seeing you at a dazzling 5,000% level of charm, you're only rating yourself at 200%. That's why messages like this keep coming back, to remind you that you're far more amazing than you believe. It's as if you're saying, "No, I've only reached 200%, so I still need to try harder," while everyone around you has already seen your brilliance and keeps affirming you're already at 5,000%. And they're not just saying that now, they'll keep saying it, even in the future. Because you're a genuinely humble person. That's what creates the gap between how you see yourself and how others perceive you. But one day, you will realize it. There will come a moment when you look at yourself and exclaim, "Wait a minute, I guess I am kind of something." If right now you're evaluating yourself at 100%, then in that moment, you might think, "Okay, maybe I'm at 200 or 300%, meaning you'll start to see yourself in a more positive light. And yet, the truth is you've already been at 5,000%. Or maybe even 1,005,000%. Or 1,000,000,000,000% wouldn't be too much to say. Just imagine the whole world as a fan community, filled with people who adore you with all their hearts, all holding up signs together. Please recognize it. The tarot cards are joining them in saying the same thing. But the beautiful part is, you're gradually entering a phase where you can truly begin to recognize this for yourself. And it's not about forcing yourself to feel confident. No. You'll naturally become confident. You'll look at yourself and suddenly exclaim, "Wow, I'm actually looking really good lately," or "Hey, work's been going pretty well," or "I'm really doing what I'm meant to do." It won't be a struggle. The confidence will rise up from within, effortlessly and genuinely. And now, let's shift to the realm of love. If you're watching this reading with the intention of exploring your romantic life, then keep listening, because this part is closely connected to everything that's just been said. Now, I'm drawing cards for the theme of encounters and love. And, oh, this is truly wonderful. You are being desired. That's the truth. Your current energy is drawing strong attention from others. For example, you might find yourself receiving messages like, "When can we meet?" Or, "Are you free sometime soon?" If you're seeking a new relationship, this is exactly the time when opportunities for connection begin to emerge. And if you're watching this reading with someone already familiar, whether a longtime friend or a current partner, then it's very likely that this person will become more proactive, more open in expressing their desire to be with you, and more committed to deepening the bond between you. In short, you are being sought after, and that is, without a doubt, a beautiful sign. As for the timing of all these developments, I mentioned earlier that the energy is moving very quickly. So, if you're wondering when exactly will this happen, based on what I sense, you'll begin to see significant shifts within the next 4 months. That said, I don't want you to assume, so does that mean nothing good will happen before then? Not at all. The positive changes have already begun to spark, and the upcoming months are simply when everything will become clearer, more powerful, and more visible. According to the cards, all of this is set to unfold within this year. If you're watching this reading at some uncertain point in time and not quite sure where you are in the calendar, just know this: the things you're wishing for are arriving faster than usual. Instead of waiting a year or two, you might start witnessing real change within just a few months. So, if there's something you're quietly hoping will happen within the next 6 months, trust that it's entirely possible. But what's even more important is this: don't think that nothing will happen before that milestone. On the contrary, subtle yet unmistakable shifts are already starting to unfold. You are currently in a time-accelerated cycle, as if the miracles that would normally take years are now being compressed, speeding toward you much sooner than expected. You might be thinking, well, I'll just keep hoping, but the truth is, it's more than that. The reality is this: what once would have taken 3 years to achieve could now come to you within just 6 months. Imagine this: if you were hoping to get married in the next 3 years, it could very well happen within half a year. Or if you had a goal to start your own business in 3 years, or to reach a revenue milestone of $1 billion in 3 to 4 years, the cards are saying those things could unfold within the next 6 months. This is no exaggeration. What you once thought would take years is now accelerating at an almost unimaginable pace. That's why the things you once believed were not yet time, or not possible yet are, in fact, already beginning to arrive, sooner than the timeline you had in mind. Everything is drawing incredibly close. And the most astonishing part is this: these major breakthroughs aren't waiting for the next few years, they're coming within half a year. Why is something so extraordinary happening? Because you've entered a new phase. You've begun to recognize your own value and your own magnetic presence, even if that recognition is only happening on a subconscious level. But energy doesn't lie. As soon as you start to feel it, even the slightest bit, the entire universe begins to move in response. You don't need to force anything or project confidence in a flashy way. Even if you still sometimes think, I'm not good enough to deserve these blessings, that won't stop anything from coming your way. Just like a famous athlete, he might not go around thinking, I'm amazing, I'm better than others, but that doesn't change the fact that he is incredibly skilled. And the same goes for you. Not everyone who is extraordinary is always aware of it, but that doesn't make them any less remarkable. You are in the midst of a rapid growth cycle, a time when the greatest, most beautiful, seemingly far-off dreams are finding their way to you with astonishing speed. But the truth remains: what's wonderful is still wonderful, and what's magnetic will always shine. No matter what you think about yourself, other people already see something truly special in you. Isn't that right? Haven't there been moments when someone complimented you, saying, that really suits you, or you're actually really talented, and your response was something like, huh, really? That exact feeling, that surprised disbelief when you're seen in a more positive light than you expected, that's the very thing happening to you now. Whether or not you feel confident, whether or not you fully recognize your worth, those around you are already seeing it clearly. And that energy, it's expanding. It's radiating outward more and more. Even without conscious effort on your part, it's growing naturally. Truly, your energy is so strong that I couldn't help but share everything I've been sensing. And yes, this feels like a special edition, a concentrated, vivid transmission that the cards are sending your way. It's not merely the final outcome of a reading, it's a living, breathing vision of what you're standing in front of. And now, based on everything that's been revealed so far, you might be wondering, from this moment on, is there anything I should pay attention to? Is there something I should begin doing? That's exactly what I wanted to draw additional cards for, and here is the message they bring. What's happening with you right now is truly extraordinary. And this is the final message from the cards: love yourself. Say to yourself, I am a genius. I am truly amazing. Of course, you don't have to force yourself to fully believe it right away. But if you can begin to nurture that thought, even just a little, it will transform your life quickly. Because if this is the core theme, then just a small adjustment, a tiny shift in belief, is all it takes for you to begin becoming that truth. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to begin. And you are at the perfect moment to start believing in the light within yourself. As for what you can do right now to support this journey, The cards suggest immersing yourself in content or surrounding yourself with people who radiate high confidence and strong positive energy. Even if you don't yet believe you're as amazing as they are, simply being exposed to that energy can naturally uplift your mood. It acts as a source of encouragement, a kind of catalyst that fills you with more life, more spirit. You might try watching films where the main character is boldly confident, people who burn brightly, live fully, and own who they are with unapologetic joy. It doesn't matter whether you're like them or not. You don't have to become exactly like those confident, radiant characters, but simply being in contact with that kind of positive energy will have a beneficial effect on you. You can explore any kind of content, as long as it inspires you and makes you feel like you, too, can shine in your own unique way. Think of it as a gentle suggestion, something you can try if it resonates with you. Now, let's move on to the part about your lucky supporters, those who may assist you during this phase of your journey. I pulled cards from a past life deck, and two figures emerged, one representing Capricorn energy and the other Pisces. These are your key companions on this path. Whether you know them in real life, or they exist only as characters in films, stories, YouTube videos, or even from another dimension, their energy can still deeply support you. The Capricorn and Pisces individuals may help you through practical advice, timely guidance, or specialized insight. They might be the ones to offer you a breakthrough idea or point you toward the right direction when you're uncertain. If you encounter people who carry these two energies, welcome them as light bearers, those who help illuminate your way forward. And finally, your lucky color is white, especially shades like pearl white, ivory, or soft metallic white. These tones help you connect more deeply with your purity, elegance, and heightened intuition. If you can carry this color with you in your clothing, accessories, or any other form, it will serve as a subtle message from the universe, gently guiding and uplifting you each day. Now, to close this reading, I want to offer you one final message from the cards. I've drawn a card from the pre-tarot deck just for you. Let's receive this message together. The card I've drawn is the Nine of Pentacles, a beautiful sign that you are drawing closer to your ideal state. Whether it's in love, career, or your vision of your highest self, you are already standing on that stage. You're now entering a phase where things begin to take real shape. And in that space, you will finally recognize, so I really am this talented. As I mentioned earlier, this is your moment to shine, to step into the spotlight and truly feel the power and potential within you. You are standing on that stage now, bathed in light, seeing all that you've accomplished, and sensing that even greater things are still to come. So of course, even after hearing all this, it doesn't mean you have to pressure yourself to feel more confident, to push harder, or to expect more from yourself. If you feel tired, give yourself full permission to rest. Don't worry about being left behind, because that's simply not going to happen. The beautiful current of energy is still flowing toward you, no matter what you choose to do. You don't need to pressure yourself to work twice as hard or to do more than you already are. Of course, if you feel inspired to strive further, that choice is entirely yours. Every decision lies in your hands. You can move forward in your own way, at your own pace, and that is completely okay. If this message resonates with you, feel free to take what's useful and apply it in the way that suits you best. With that, I'll close the reading for those who chose pile 2 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to click like and subscribe to support the channel. Your encouragement is a powerful source of motivation that helps me continue bringing meaningful readings your way. And if something in today's message touched your heart, please leave a comment, or even just a small symbol, so I know it truly reached you. I deeply value every bit of connection and always look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. I'll see you again in the next reading. Hello to those who chose pile 3. Thank you for waiting. Now, I'll begin the reading for those of you who were drawn to the third group. I hope this reading brings you healing, fresh insight, and moments filled with love and warmth. Let's dive into the shocking, destiny-level news that is approaching you. From what I see, the results are incredibly strong, and we also have the presence of Devil Ham appearing. The final outcome shows the Tower in reverse, signaling major changes on the horizon, but ones that will unfold in a more positive direction. Alongside it, we have the Empress card, and in the present moment, the Nine of Cups, a wonderfully auspicious card. If the Nine of Cups represents where you are right now, then it's likely that one of your heartfelt wishes has already come true. That means you're standing right at the point you once hoped to reach, and good things are truly unfolding in your life. This reading is so powerful that I hardly know where to begin. But with the Nine of Cups showing up in your current energy, I feel that for those who chose the Paldea Pokemon group number 3, you may have just fulfilled a long-held wish or achieved a significant life goal. It could be that you've completed something important or reached a milestone you had long been dreaming of. The Nine of Cups is truly a wonderful sign. And there's another fascinating detail. The Devil card also appeared in your spread. But this time, it doesn't carry the typical connotation of toxic attachment or unhealthy dependence. Instead, what I sense is a devil with a smug expression, almost boastful, proud of its triumph, flaunting its success. Imagine a confident cat with a victorious smirk, as if it's just claimed something grand. No matter how you interpret this reading, I truly believe you've achieved something important. You're in a moment where it's your turn, your move, and you're holding the results of all that you've built. I can feel that energy very clearly in the present moment. I won't claim absolute certainty without checking, so I turn to the Angel Answer deck to confirm. Because I know if the initial interpretation is off, it could shift the entire message, so I need to be sure from the start. But honestly, the feeling I get is incredibly strong. The card I pulled strongly emphasizes that you should trust and fully receive this message. It's clearly telling you, yes, you've won. You've achieved what you wished for. The cards are asking me to deliver this message with clarity and precision, to speak the truth exactly as it comes through. This is a card that encourages me not to hold back, not to soften the message, but to say exactly what I see. And after double-checking with a fresh pull from the Angel Answer deck, the result is absolutely aligned. There's no mistake. So, for most of you, I believe you've achieved something significant, a clear victory, or the successful completion of a mission or goal. You're standing in a favorable position now, with the sense that this is your moment, that from here on, all you need to do is keep moving forward. However, if there's anyone who doesn't quite resonate with this message, I'd truly love to hear how you're feeling or what you were hoping to receive from this reading. I'm always open to listening and adjusting if there's something I've missed. I've just drawn the Five of Pentacles, a card that symbolizes challenges or difficulties related to finances, or a sense of lack or being left out. This could be a gentle signal for you to pay attention. This card can also reflect feelings of loss or emotional emptiness. So, if you feel you haven't achieved anything yet, or that things aren't going smoothly, it may appear that way on the surface, but in truth, something is quietly unfolding behind the scenes. A success or forward movement may be happening that you haven't yet recognized. You might be feeling that there are sharp, uncomfortable elements blocking your path, especially with the appearance of the Devil card and the pointed edges that showed up in the middle of the spread. But just like the small cat positioned at the center, what I sense is that you are the one in control. You're the one actively steering the course of events. Additionally, the imagery of the dolphin and the woman also appears in the central area, creating a symbolic structure that feels especially meaningful and powerful to me. So, if things aren't flowing smoothly right now, don't worry too much. What may seem like cracks, disagreements, or disruptions could actually be the beginning of a positive transformation. For example, if you and someone else have recently had a conflict, that clash might be the catalyst that helps both of you better understand each other. It could be the very thing that prompts the other person to recognize their mistakes, apologize, and take a step toward healing the relationship. These kinds of tensions, even if they feel negative in the moment, are often signs that something deeper is shifting and evolving in a positive direction. In the same way, if you've recently experienced broken promises or canceled plans, don't rush to feel discouraged. It may be that someone is preparing to bring you something far greater to make up for it, or that a new, better opportunity is just about to arrive. If you find yourself in such a situation, trust that movement is happening behind the scenes, even if you can't yet see it clearly. What looks like setbacks may, in fact, be springboards, launching you towards something far more beautiful. For those of you going through these kinds of situations, I hope these words bring a bit of comfort and light. What I sense is that the majority of you are holding on to a result. Something has been achieved, or there's already a sense of certainty about a greater current that's beginning to flow into your life. Whether it's a major success, the completion of a goal, or the resolution of a task, big or small, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you've accomplished something, and you can feel that life is moving forward. Right now, the spread also reflects this. You are either already in that phase or about to enter it very soon. When we look at your relationships or the surrounding circumstances, the reversed Three of Cups appears. This card points to a sense of chaos, a lack of harmony between thought and emotion. Things seem disorganized, unsettled, and not yet aligned. To clarify further, I drew one more card, the Nine of Wands in the past position. Though the card itself doesn't depict a broom or cleaning tools, the image I received was one of sweeping. It symbolizes confusion or a lack of clarity about what you or someone else was doing. Perhaps you weren't sure what you truly wanted, or maybe the direction wasn't clear. It feels like things hadn't yet moved forward smoothly, and there was still a foggy or disordered atmosphere. Together, these two cards give me the image of a crowded gathering in a cluttered room, one where no one quite understands the purpose of the event or what it's leading to. Nothing seems neatly arranged, and no one is entirely sure what's going on or where things are heading. Both cards reflect uncertainty, things that feel unclear and difficult to grasp. You may be feeling like you don't even know what you truly want. Perhaps, in the past, you've felt this way too, haven't you? Whether it was with someone, a certain project, or even your own dreams, there may have been moments when you asked yourself, what exactly is happening here? You felt confused and unsure about the direction things were heading. And even now, you might still be wondering, where do we go from here? What should I do next? What is this all leading to? You're questioning everything that's happening around you. Perhaps the current situation still lacks clarity, and everything around you feels busy and unresolved, like you're in the middle of chaos. And it might not just be one person who's out of sync, but rather the general energy of the people around you that feels unstable. It's as if nothing is truly settled, and you just want a bit more time to reflect on where things stand. Maybe everyone is so preoccupied that no one really feels grounded, and you find yourself wondering whether you can carve out even a small pocket of peace in the midst of it all. But don't worry. Even if things seem chaotic and unresolved right now, there will come a time when everything begins to stabilize. If this is about a dream or a goal, perhaps your work, or a project currently being affected by the disorder around you, such as colleagues, clients, or team members, know that, even if it's messy now, things will settle down and fall into place in the future. Because everything is still unstable, things need to be reorganized. It's possible that their company's structure will change, or perhaps it's simply that their clients, coworkers, and the people around them are still in disarray, lacking balance. I can clearly sense that even their room is quite messy, and their life doesn't seem to have much abundance, leaving them without a truly comfortable space. Because everything around them is in such chaos, they can't manage and they can't find peace of mind. But don't worry, the Chariot has appeared clearly, signaling that everything will settle down and they will regain their calm. I'm drawing another card, and the Ace of Pentacles has come up, symbolizing wealth and abundance. Whether it's their work environment or the people around them, this card speaks of surplus and ease. So rest assured, the confusion, the questions like what's going on, what's the progress, what should I do next, they will gradually be answered and everything will fall into place. Whether this is about love or any other relationship around you, feel free to apply it accordingly. I wonder what your current situation is truly like. But from where I'm standing, it seems that things on your end have become relatively well organized, to a remarkable extent. And when I look at the advice card, the reversed Ace of Cups appears, signaling that something is about to come to you. This card is being placed right before your eyes. If it were upright, you might still not notice it or be too caught up in your thoughts. But in reverse, it's time for you to fully recognize it. And at the same time, the final outcome is the Tower reversed. The reversed Tower is a warning. This will happen, and you need to be mentally prepared. You are being reminded that a sudden, fated change is coming. This is exactly a shocking revelation of destiny-level impact. And you have been forewarned that it will arrive. Now let's see what that shocking, destined news truly is. It feels like it's going to be intense and powerful. I'm now drawing from the Crow's Oracle deck to see what comes through. The appearance of the reversed Tower is truly overwhelmingly strong. Major arcana cards are often seen as something too familiar, almost like everyone thinks, oh, it's that card again. But in truth, they are anything but ordinary. In this 7-card spread, 3 major arcana cards have appeared, one of them in the final outcome position, and another in the near future. This is a significant sign. For those who chose this pile, I believe there is definitely some kind of shocking news heading your way. To clarify further, I'll draw an additional card from the black deck. Here it is, the Shadow card has appeared. At first glance, it may seem calm, quiet, and hidden. But in reality, the Shadow is an extremely mischievous and rebellious card. It's not the kind to obediently stay put. So its appearance means that you won't simply be able to sigh in relief and say, "Oh, so that's what it was," and move on. No, this is the kind of situation where you'll go, "Oh my God, this is actually happening," a level of surprise that's entirely beyond what you could imagine. Because the energy is still quite abstract, I'll draw more cards to get even clearer. I want to know what will happen, how it will unfold, and where it will take you. The card that appeared is the Queen of Cups. In this reading, there was already another queen, the Empress, the queen of the major arcana. So there is a clear connection between these feminine images, between the energies of receptivity and intuition. You are truly being connected to the near future in a very clear and tangible way. But I still feel like something more is needed. Not just one voice, this feels like it calls for drawing 20 or 30 more cards. This isn't just a whisper. It's far from something that's small. The message here is that what's coming relates to stability, to a sense of home, to a deep feeling of reassurance. Even though it's a shocking revelation, it's not the kind that bursts out and then fades away. This is a major, destiny-level event, but one that brings comfort and solidity. It reminds me of a situation like this. Just as an example, you're invited to join a television program. And rather than just reacting with, "Wow, I'm going to be on TV," it carries a different feeling, something like, "Oh, this is going to be a regular show." A sense of security from the very beginning. As if someone is telling you, "We want you to be a regular face here." It's not a one-time occurrence, but something like being asked to write a long-term column, or being offered a recurring job, or entering into a lasting relationship, something stable, consistent, and maintainable. Even though it may surprise you or leave you stunned at first, what lies behind it is a whole landscape of peace and stability. And the person who will bring this shocking news, or the one who acts as the intermediary through whom it reaches you, is most likely a woman. Two cards related to feminine energy have shown up, which really caught my attention. There's a strong sense that this is a woman, perhaps the one making the offer, or someone who introduces the opportunity, or passes it along to you. In short, the feminine energy here is powerful, and it is through this woman that the turning point will be set in motion. I also wanted to ask for a more specific example. And now I've drawn a card, the Rose. This card carries a very clear sense of passion, of burning intensity. It signifies energy filled with affection, emotion, stimulation, and enthusiasm. And if you're viewing this reading from the lens of love, then returning to what I mentioned earlier, that the person who brings this message or connection is a woman, there is every possibility that this is the beginning of something sparked by that very woman. For instance, you might think the message is coming directly from that person, but in fact, the first one to deliver the news could be your female best friend, or a woman who says something like, "Hey, someone sent you a message," and then things unfold from there. It could also come from an astrologer, a tarot reader, or someone who plays the role of a guide or intermediary, someone working in a matchmaking service, for example, or a female consultant at a counseling office who mentions something, introduces someone to you, or delivers a message from the other party. It could even be a woman who casually says, "Hey, someone named XX wants to get your number." Situations like that are entirely possible. In short, the energy is emphasizing very clearly it will be a woman who brings something significant into your life. And even if the situation only involves the two of you, meaning there's no intermediary, no third party involved, it could still be through someone like a reader, a female tarot reader you often follow, or a woman who regularly shares love advice and techniques in the videos you watch. For example, she might say something like, "If you're in a situation like this, then something like this is going to happen soon," and then it actually does. It may sound a little mystical, but the message keeps coming back to one thing: a woman will be the one to speak it first. That's why I have a strong sense that you'll receive this message through a woman, and it won't be something trivial or random. It will be something emotionally rich, something passionate, but at the same time, it will give you a sense of calm and reassurance when you receive it. If you've reached this point and feel, now I understand, so that's what it is. This truly is a shocking revelation for me, then you're absolutely welcome to receive it that way. But I'm sorry, I still don't think it's enough. I tend to be a little greedy, like a tarot nerd who just can't get enough, so I want to dig even deeper. What exactly makes this such a powerful, groundbreaking piece of news? Why is it so special, so utterly surprising? If you feel satisfied and want to stop here, that's totally fine. You can skip the rest. But as for me, I still want to draw more cards to understand better. What is it about this message that makes it a shock, a moment that truly makes you go wow? So now I'll dive into that next part. It's as if I'm trying to uncover the reason behind this whole story. Alright, I'm going to draw a message from the Oracle deck. The question is, why is this such a shocking piece of news? Okay, I've drawn a card from the Oracle deck. And the card that has appeared is Rest. It's clear now the reason this news is so shocking is because it brings you a sense of peace. In other words, this will directly address the very thing that's currently making you feel most unsettled. It could be something that's been keeping you from resting, something that has made your heart uneasy, and this is what will come to help you finally lay down that burden. The card makes it very clear. This is not an event that will make you feel even more anxious or pressured, not the kind that makes you think, oh no, what do I do now? Or will this even work out? Or am I really capable of handling this? Absolutely not that kind of energy. It's more like, finally I know. Finally, this has come to light, and now you can breathe a sigh of relief. A deep, heartfelt exhale. The kind of feeling that says, now I can truly sleep well, or now I can finally rest without this weight in my chest. That's the energy this message carries, and it aligns perfectly with the earlier cards as well. Now let's ask, when will this happen? The Two of Wands has just appeared, indicating that this could happen very soon. Looking at the present moment, the Ten of Cups is also here, a card filled with the energy of fulfillment, already manifesting right now. Moreover, the numbers in this spread are quite low, and the presence of the Empress in the near future reinforces this. Everything suggests that the timing is not far off. For those of you who can clearly feel this energy, the event may take place within the next 2 to 3 days. I know that might sound almost too fast to believe, but the Tower in reverse isn't a card that speaks of delays, so there's no contradiction there. If you're thinking, 2 to 3 days? That seems way too soon, it probably won't be me, then chances are it will still happen within 2 to 3 weeks. There's no sense that this will stretch into 2 months or longer. The Two of Wands is a low number card, symbolizing something that's coming in the near future. It's not talking about something far off on the horizon. To be sure, I'll draw another card. I know that saying just a few more days might sound like wishful thinking, so I want to clarify it further. Alright, the next card is the Seven of Cups. My sense is that it will come within a week, or even sooner. It might be 2 days from now or exactly on the 3rd day. And as I mentioned earlier, if it's not within a few days, then it's likely just around 2 to 3 weeks. In short, it's going to happen very soon, so soon that even I find myself wondering, is it really this fast? Lately, many outcomes have been manifesting with such incredible speed that I've been surprised by my own readings. While I have no doubt about what the cards are saying, when a message comes through this quickly and this clearly, I still like to seek confirmation. So I'll draw once more, one final push to answer the question, is it truly going to arrive this soon? Alright, the card that just appeared is Compromise. And then I drew the Seven of Wands. I don't feel like this is the kind of message that says only if you compromise, then it will happen. The previous cards already confirmed very clearly that this is coming. So this doesn't feel like a conditional message, it feels like something else entirely. But I still didn't quite understand it at first. Why is everything happening so quickly? When I asked, is it really going to come that soon, the cards responded with Compromise, followed by the Seven of Wands. And the strange thing is, the more cards I draw, the more confusing it gets. It feels like I'm asking myself, wait, am I still a tarot reader? Because the more I pull, the more baffled I become. So let me pause and clarify things again. Next, I drew the Sun Beautiful. The message is gradually becoming clear. The compromise here isn't necessarily about having to give something up or yield. Instead, it's a gentle reminder that you may currently be in a defensive state, like the figure in the Seven of Wands, someone standing guard, protecting themselves, not allowing anything to get too close. And yet, in reality, the other ones are still far away, they haven't reached you. But you're already poised to fight back, as if anything that comes near must be repelled. And when paired with the Sun, I feel the real message here is, you don't need to stay on high alert anymore. Don't overthink it. You don't need to brace yourself or be tense about what's coming next. Everything will be okay. The compromise card here isn't telling you to give anything up. It's a gentle reminder. Don't overanalyze. You don't need to understand every root cause of why this is happening so quickly. Simply put, the time has come for you to step out into the light, to see the sun. That's it. There's no need to dissect it all. No need for doubt. Just receive it. So then, what the cards are trying to say here, especially with the Devil and the Tower having appeared, and the Empress showing up in the near future, is this. Those of you who chose this pile have likely put in a tremendous amount of effort, haven't you? Whether in love, work, or your journey of personal growth, you've been pushing forward with dedication, with consistency, with sincerity. And it is precisely because you've tried so hard that now is the time for your deserved outcome to arrive. Everything that's about to unfold is not random. It's the result of all that you've been nurturing and building from the heart. I sense that you might be the kind of person who always wants to understand things clearly. You want to know why something is happening, what inside you attracted it, what the underlying reason is. You want to break it down, step by step, detail by detail, until everything is laid bare. But what the cards are gently telling you now is, you don't need to think so hard. You don't need to analyze everything to its core. It's simply this, because you have given your all, because you've never stopped striving, now is the moment when good things begin flowing toward you as a completely deserved return. It's because you've kept going, because you've patiently nurtured and tended your path, like someone caring for a plant, watering it day by day, sowing seeds, softening the soil, that now the flowers are beginning to bloom. All the beautiful things that are coming your way are a natural result, a well-deserved reward for the journey you've walked. The cards are saying, there's no need to search for countless reasons why this is happening, no need to overanalyze what your strengths or weaknesses are, or why you are worthy. You only need to know one thing: you've been trying wholeheartedly, and that's enough. You might feel that unless you understand things clearly, you won't be able to reflect properly or move forward with confidence. And that's valid, you have the right to feel that way. But what the cards are whispering now is, it's also perfectly okay to allow yourself to trust and let go a little. Even if you don't grasp every detail, even if not everything is fully explained, the result will still arrive, because you've already planted enough. There's a very clear sense here that those of you who chose this pile are people who have genuinely tried. And because of that, now you can begin to reap the rewards, or very soon, something meaningful will come your way. This is not the kind of outcome born from random luck, not a stroke of unexpected fortune knocking on your door. It is the fruit of continual care, inner growth, and steadfast intention. Because so many major arcana cards have shown up, and I've always felt that major arcana do not appear just out of luck. Yes, sometimes the flow of fortune opens, and the universe sends you a gift. But more often, these powerful cards are signs that you've walked a path deep enough, long enough, and sincere enough, and that's why a major turning point is now unfolding for you. And if you're thinking, but I haven't done anything, or I don't feel like I've tried hard enough, that's perfectly okay. You don't need to force yourself to believe that you've achieved something grand. Just be yourself. But from my perspective, through this reading, I truly sense that most of you who chose this pile are people who have gone through a great deal of effort, whether quietly or visibly, to be worthy of the profound shift that is coming. So, you don't need to adjust your emotions to fit something you're not ready to believe in. Just be as you are, and let the outcome arrive in the way it's meant to. Your emotions are your emotions. And what the outside world, or the energy of the universe, is communicating, that's its own separate current. You can absolutely keep the two things distinct if you need to. When I look at this reading, I feel that separation very clearly. And yes, if we're just looking at the timing indicated by the cards, then it could happen within 2 days, or at most, within 2 weeks. Everything is pointing to it arriving very soon. But when I take a broader look at your entire journey up to this point, it feels like your effort has spanned far more than a few weeks. It may have been months, years, and for some of you, perhaps even over a decade. If we look at the fact that it's about to happen right now, it may seem sudden and hard to believe. But when placed within the entire flow of your journey, with all the effort, the stumbles, and the growth, this is a completely reasonable outcome. There's nothing far-fetched about it. Perhaps it's precisely because you're standing right at the threshold of a turning point that you were drawn to this reading, and why it resonates so deeply with you. It's truly something beautiful. Now let's ask, when you received this shocking news, how will you feel? I've drawn a card to reflect your emotional state at that moment. The message from this card is crystal clear. You'll feel as though, at last, all your efforts have been rewarded. You'll think, so it wasn't all for nothing. I truly did try. And yes, good things can happen when I don't give up. It won't be a feeling of, wow, I'm so lucky, or I've hit the jackpot, but rather a deeply grounded emotion, something like, I worked for this. I believed. I held on. And now I finally get to touch what I truly deserve. That's why, earlier in this reading, the devil also appeared, a symbol of being trapped in pain, but also a sign of someone who has walked through darkness without losing themselves. You deserve what's coming not because of luck, but because you created it through your lived experience and everything you've poured into this journey. The Devil card is often interpreted as a symbol of obsession, attachment, or dependency, but in truth, its meaning runs much deeper. It also appears during moments when you've been holding on to something very tightly, not out of weakness, but because you truly valued it, because you poured your heart into it. This is also a card of inner battles, times when you've wrestled with yourself, faced loops of thought, endured pain, and stood at the crossroads where emotion and reason clashed. Looking at the overall energy of this reading, I feel very clearly that you've walked a path that hasn't been easy. You've poured yourself into it, struggled through it, and kept going. And because of that, I believe what's coming to you is not just an outcome, it's a profound transformation. Near the end of the spread, the Empress appeared in the near future. So, what does this card signify in this context? It arrives after you've received that shocking news, the moment that surges through your heart and makes you realize you've truly made it through. And so the question arises, what happens next? What unfolds after that moment? I wanted to understand more deeply. The Empress represents fertility, blossoming, a state of receptivity and abundance. But what exactly will your next path look like? And now, I've drawn a card in the upright position, silent. This card shares a visual and energetic resemblance to the shadow card I drew earlier, but this time, it carries a very different tone, quiet, serene, and deeply still. The appearance of the silent card after the Empress indicates a deeply stable inner state. After the great unexpected event unfolds, you won't find yourself swept away in a whirlwind of excitement or overwhelmed with reactions like, wow, I'm shocked, or oh my God, this is unbelievable. Instead, you'll receive it with calmness and maturity, like someone who has already come to understand life, someone who has grown, and now simply exhales with quiet relief. At last, it's finally here. The silent card here brings forth a very clear sense. You will no longer feel the need to explain, complain, or share your worries with anyone, simply because there will be nothing left to worry about. The anxiety dissolves. The fear quiets down. You won't need to ask, am I okay? Because you will feel truly okay. That very shocking moment, when it arrives, will be the turning point that brings you peace. All the doubts and fears within you seem to melt away, and you begin to live in a much more peaceful, gentle current. In the days that follow, it will feel as though you've returned to a quiet, safe rhythm of life, where there is no longer any need to brace yourself or keep waiting. However, I also understand that if you're watching this reading with love, career, or dreams in mind, you might be wondering, so is there any actual progress? Or is it just that I'll feel peaceful? Since the silent card speaks primarily to inner emotion, I now want to ask more directly. After you receive this major news, will your life move forward into a new phase? And the card that has just appeared is the Knight of Pentacles. The answer is, yes, there will be progress. But not in an explosive way, not a sudden rush like a storm that sweeps you off your feet. Instead, it will be a steady, grounded advancement. The Knight of Pentacles is the embodiment of patience, consistency, and reliability. This suggests that you will be able to move forward at a pace that feels natural and comfortable for you. If you're watching this reading in the context of love, this means you will no longer be caught in someone else's whirlwind. No more being pulled along by a partner who's constantly pushing for faster progress, leaving you feeling rushed or drained. Instead, you'll be allowed to keep your own rhythm. Your person will listen to you, adjust to match your pace, or at the very least, they will no longer pressure you into rushing ahead. If this reading relates to work, dreams, or your personal path, the message is the same. You won't be thrown into a situation where others keep pushing you. Hurry up, make a decision, take action now. Instead, The people around you, colleagues, collaborators, clients, will gradually learn to respect your timing and your choices. They'll ask, "What would you like to do? How do you feel about this idea? If this works for you, let's move forward together." Everything will be built around you, not in a controlling way, but in a spirit of partnership. The overall energy I feel in this reading is one of calm. A kind of calm not because everything is standing still, but because you're moving forward in the right direction, steadily, securely, and without losing yourself. And yes, the Knight of Pentacles also depicts someone sitting firmly in the saddle, holding the coin with steady hands, not rushing, not stirring chaos, but full of quiet determination. And that truly is beautiful. In truth, even the happiest or most joyful things, when they come all at once or in overwhelming amounts, can still leave us exhausted. It's like the Disneyland effect. No matter how fun it is, by the time you leave, you're drained, your legs ache, your mind feels foggy. And I believe the same applies to you. No matter how wonderful the blessings are, if they don't arrive in your rhythm, you might eventually feel overwhelmed, unable to truly enjoy them. And that's exactly why everything will come to you at a pace that suits you best. The invitations, the opportunities, the good things, they will arrive when you're ready to receive them. If one day you're tired, not quite ready to step out, everything will wait for you. The people around you will adjust themselves to your rhythm. You will no longer be swept into someone else's current. And perhaps the entire message of this reading, from beginning to end, has been centered around exactly that. Although this is a shocking, life-shifting event, it ultimately leads you back to stability, to peace, and to the natural rhythm of your true self. In most of the cards I've drawn, the figures are seated, not standing, not rushing. This is a clear symbol of arrival, of grounding, of having found a sense of calm. Perhaps recently you've been living in a state of inner restlessness, a subtle, lingering anxiety, wondering, am I good enough? Will things flow the way they should? And that's why cards like Rest have appeared. But of course, that doesn't mean there is no progress. On the contrary, movement is still present, advancement still happens, but it's movement that originates from within you, not driven by pressure or urgency. It's a current that gently lifts you rather than pulling you along. A journey that brings results while preserving your energy. I feel that this is a truly beautiful reading, and it's even more beautiful because it honors your pace, your essence. No rushing, no forcing. Everything arrives when the time is ripe, so you can live gently, freely, and in full alignment with yourself. After all, being swept along by others, constantly wondering, should I go along with this? Or they've invited me to do this. Maybe I should say yes. All of that can be exhausting, can't it? But here, the message isn't that no one will invite you or that opportunities will stop coming. That's not it. Rather, everything will unfold according to your rhythm, your state of being. People will observe where you are. They will ask what you think, and they will adjust to match your energy. This, I feel, is the direction in which everything is now moving. So, this feeling of something being both shocking and stable at the same time, that may very well be the central theme for those of you who chose pile number 3 in this reading. Now, based on everything that has come through so far, I want to draw a few more messages to ask. From the moment you watch this reading, what should you do? What should you be mindful of? I'll pull a few more cards to see what would be beneficial for you to start practicing right now. Small things to be aware of in your daily life. The card that appeared is the bento box, and the message it brings is this. You are fully allowed to immerse yourself in whatever it is you truly want to focus on. Whether it's work, cooking, music, movies, reading, anything that sparks your interest, you have every right to prioritize it. Allow yourself to devote your full attention to what you love, and in doing so, you're also giving your mind the rest it needs. And even if, in that very moment, the person you care about or an important partner happens to call or message you, there's no need to respond immediately. If you're currently enjoying your own time, finish your task, or watch the rest of your episode, then reply. That's perfectly okay. It's completely valid. I sense that many of you who chose this pile have, time and again, placed others before yourselves, have often set aside your own needs to meet someone else's expectations or to fit into someone else's schedule. And surely, that has left you feeling worn out in one way or another. That's why, this time, the message for you is, you are absolutely allowed to prioritize what's right in front of you. Of course, if it's a truly urgent matter, something that can't be delayed, then it's worth considering carefully. But if it's not pressing, the advice here is, Your time is the most important, more important than anyone else's. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors yourself, preserves your energy, and protects your joy. You don't need to feel guilty if you're doing something you enjoy, and don't answer the phone right away, or don't immediately say yes to an invitation. Finish what you're doing first, or respond when you genuinely feel ready. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And of course, if you're the kind of person who thinks, I know I should prioritize myself, but if I don't reply right away, I'll get distracted and won't be able to focus, that's okay too. Just do it your way. What matters most is that you feel at ease with how you live and with the choices you make. Because the reason is simple, it's the environment that allows you to focus best. Not because I say so, but because you know exactly which space and rhythm allow you to fully concentrate on what you're doing. So, if for you, replying to a message in that moment helps clear your mind and makes it easier to focus, then go ahead and reply. It all depends on what works best for you. You don't need to follow everything a tarot reader says, especially one strange tarot reader like me. Feel free to disregard it if it doesn't resonate. Live in your own rhythm, on your own foundation. Your rhythm, your foundation, that, to me, is the core theme in today's message. If it feels aligned, try integrating it into your life and see how it feels. Now, I'll draw a card to reveal who might bring luck to you in this area of your life. And that person is Capricorn. Wonderful. That means Capricorn has now appeared twice in this reading. The person who will support and guide you during this period is someone who carries Capricorn energy. Whether this person exists in the 2D world or in your 3D reality, an influencer, a character from a TV show, or anyone else, as long as they embody Capricorn energy, they are the one offering support to you right now. This person will support you in focusing on what you truly want to do. They might help you through specific actions, offer thoughtful advice, or simply create the space for you to do what you need in a more effective way. I sense a truly wonderful energy from this person, someone serious, devoted, and deeply sincere. This person is genuinely kind. If it feels aligned, try paying attention to whether there's a Capricorn around you. Or, if you admire someone who happens to be a Capricorn, they could very well be the one to inspire and motivate you in the coming days. And with this card's appearance, it also brings a lucky color palette for you. Shades of gray, white, and black, simple, elegant, and monochromatic tones. If possible, try incorporating these colors into your clothing or living space. They may help bring a sense of focus and grounding. Now, to close today's reading, I'll draw one last card to receive a personal message from the universe just for you. And the card that has appeared is the Knight of Swords in reverse. This card suggests that you may have been running for a long time, pushing forward relentlessly. You might have poured all your energy into chasing something, or have been enduring pressures that only you truly understand. This card comes as a gentle message. You don't need to keep speeding ahead anymore. Allow yourself the time to breathe, to rest, and to adjust your pace to what feels right for you. There's no need to keep racing forward on a nameless track just out of habit or a constant sense that you must keep progressing. You can absolutely choose to slow down, so that when you move forward again, it will be in the right direction and on much firmer ground. When looking at the Knight of Pentacles from earlier and comparing it with the Knight of Swords in reverse this time, I can clearly feel the contrast in their energetic flow, or in other words, the difference in the emotional atmosphere each card brings. The reason you've been pushing yourself so hard for so long likely stems from inner unrest, fear, or self-doubt. Thoughts like, am I okay just being the way I am? Am I falling behind? Is someone expecting something from me? These questions may have been quietly pushing you forward, compelling you to keep going, to keep straining. But now, the cards are clearly showing, those anxieties are beginning to ease. And this doesn't mean you'll fall into idleness, or that there will be no stage left for you to shine on, no more opportunities for growth. On the contrary, you'll move forward with a calmer, more peaceful mindset, and most importantly, in alignment with your own rhythm. You'll gradually have more time to do what you love, to slow down a little, to truly enjoy the moment. Among the cards drawn, the Devil also appeared, indicating that at some point, you may have felt trapped in negative emotions, confined by a mindset or a structure you believed you had to remain in. Perhaps you pushed yourself to the point of exhaustion, simply to escape the feeling of not being enough. But that doesn't mean you were wrong, or that you did anything wrong. Absolutely not. The message here is this. You are gradually stepping out of that space, leaving behind the land of fear and pressure and moving into a new phase where life feels more breathable, more comfortable, more enjoyable. Whether this applies to love, personal dreams, career, or your social connections, everything is beginning to open up in a way that feels gentler and more accessible to you. So, take heart. Everything is unfolding in the right direction. I hope this reading can serve as a small spark of clarity, a warm point of reference to help you feel more grounded and confident on your own path. I'll close the reading for those of you who chose pile 3 here. If what I've shared brought you any helpful insight, or even if you simply found it enjoyable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like to support me. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end of this video. Wishing you a peaceful and lucky day. See you again in the next readings.